kind of a weird thing that happens when like something happens and you're like you didn't expect it to give
And
you
we're live.
hi. Perfect
Hello.
timing.
Hello, hello, hello.
Just talking about everyone's fears
Greatest fears in life.
and not
In
letting the DM
movies.
know them.
Ah, oops, sorry about that.
This is the kind of stuff that is fuel for DMs if they overhear
Yeah, don't put me
I,
out in a body of
Oh,
water,
I feel
okay?
so. Oh no,
yeah.
I just realized I feel so bad for Zorro this week.
Oh man, I purposely I, I, I so, I'm gonna deviate from this campaign for just a little second. I'm very very sad that my bear PC died because he had acquired Circle of the Bees, and
Mhm.
Zoro is terrified of bees. And
Aw.
as much as I love Zoro, Circle of the Bees is so awesome of a circle for druids that I had to take it as a secondary circle. And I was more than likely gonna have to have someone else do the art for
I
the
mean,
bear. But
Syra from last week summoned a bunch of hornets.
I
So,
I missed last week. I totally
oh man,
I was
like
I was I was out enjoying D&D in real life. If it makes you feel any better.
that actually does alleviate some stress. Good to know.
Alrighty. So welcome everyone. We are the Wayward Wanderers. I am your GM Azrin, and these are my players slash performers. As I take them on a journey of entertainment and mayhem and potential calamity, as they
shenanigans.
shenanigans as they travel. Currently traveling in Escadar, they have completed a circus performance that was attempted to be sabotaged by a rival circus. Uh, Thankfully, they were able to drive away the miscreants and complete a successful performance. The townspeople were impressed. City officials were impressed. Um, Having some, competition amongst the two prevalent performing houses in the city is definitely something to generate some buzz, especially since Escadar is a major port city in the region. Um, but they're not just here for fun and games. There is trouble um, on the island. There are uh, hidden temples and ion stones that fuel the nature of the island chain in this particular region of the world. And something is affecting them adversely. And our adventurers, in their spare time from not performing circus shows, have been tacitly tasked with looking into the situation since they're already on the scene. Um, Last week, um, some fun things happened. Uh, some some new skills were introduced to the players as they leveled up. So everyone, as you notice, your little cards flashing by all have your 6 level stats. So uh, everyone's
Yay.
everyone's a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger. But with that and it being a new chapter, that means the monsters are a little bit stronger and a little bit tougher
No.
and a little bit more. So this is the time where DMs start having fun as players casually leave tier 1 and enter the murky waters of tier 2 play. So prepare to
Oh, that's
have
terrifying.
prepare to have some fun. Oh, this entire adventure path goes up to tier 5. So
Oh,
should you
jeez.
guys this is a up to level 20 adventure. So Uh, there will be plenty of shenanigans down the road, but that's for future use to deal with. Um, Current use have to basically decide um, what you want to do. It's the next day. Everyone's busy about the circus grounds, going about their regular morning rituals, cleaning up the site, preparing stuff, getting things ready and purchased. You guys made a couple of purchases um, for the circus, and they're busily prepping to get all that stuff ready for the next one. But there are a couple things you need to decide what you want to do. You are in an opportune moment to have some downtime. Should you choose to take it. Uh, Also, you're in Escadar because apparently there is another Ion Stone somewhere around the vicinity. The only clue you have is that it's located in what's called the Moonstone Hall, but you have no idea where it is, what it is, or what significance it has to the area. You only know that it is somewhere around the area of Escadar. So you guys can technically start preparing for another performance, or you can start doing some research for finding the Moonstone Hall. This is completely up to you how you wish to move at this point.
Hmm.
I'd like to use a free day for something else, but as a whole,
Go through my notes, make sure I have the right notes. Not this one.
we do have a
Right.
meeting with the constable or something.
Up to you. You haven't been summoned.
Yeah, no, I believe they are satisfied with our performance from last night. So I don't see how interrupting their busy schedule would go well for us, even if we did well last night. If they wish to speak with us, they will make it known.
Since Shimmer doesn't have any like tricks or anything for the show and whatnot, she can probably head to a library of sorts and see if she can find anything on this Moonstone Hall.
Um, Alrighty. So give me. So is anyone gonna accompany Shima, or is you gonna let her go?
Yes, you are
Okay.
going to a library. The nerd would like to go to the library.
Rosmer does not like libraries, so she is definitely not going. But
Alrighty.
she did.
You would
I
rather
did
go to
want
the
to
bar
go.
and drink with your friends.
That is an option. It's
That's cool.
downtime. You can definitely go to the bar if you wish to.
Well, no, it's gonna be more spending time with Bardock, but she's gonna go to the wolf to see what damages are there. If her girlfriend
Be-
is still there.
Before Shima and Cantrell leave for the library, Gwennon is going to ask if there are any items or anything that we need to purchase that she should possibly look for around town, and possibly also suggest to Jathal that maybe it might be fun to see if there is a temple, or does he know if there's a temple of Desna in the area.
We need
Okay.
health potions.
We need half potions. Um. Alrighty. So let's do this. So you sit down with you know Jathal. You go looking for Jathal. He's actually in uh, the um, the wagon area, and he's working out. He's a warrior,
Ooh.
and he needs to maintain his you know his warrior physique and skills. So you catch him, outside, you know, no armor, shirtless, getting sweaty.
Damn. I bet him and Shaffer would probably work out together.
Okay. Excuse me, Jethal, if I could interrupt you for a moment. It seems
Oh,
Cantrell and
I'm sorry, my lady, on my appearance. I'm just doing my morning calisthenics. And he like he grabs a towel and he starts wiping himself down, and he puts on his regular shirt. Um, and he goes, you know, um, is there anything I can do for you this morning? Are we moving out? I need some
uh,
time to prepare.
no. Apparently, Cantrell and Shathra are going to a library to research an iron
Shima.
Shema.
stone. Or Shima, I'm sorry.
Shema.
Are going to a library to research um, an iron stone they've heard about. And Shastra mentioned we needed health potions. I asked if there was anything else that was needed. And I was curious if there was a temple of Desna in the area, but perhaps I should go speak with Yonk and see if she can do anything about health potions.
Um, well, I mean, she is an alchemist. I don't know many that aren't proficient in creating potions and the like. Um, as far as a temple goes, unfortunately, there is no temple to Our Lady in Escadar, or on the island itself. There is a small, modest shrine um, in the temple district. Um, the the prevailing um, religion is sorry, prior to prior to uh, Oriden's passing, which was the original founding of this area. Um, Most of the worship in this particular region is Galarian. Um,
Okay. Well, what I think I will do then is I will go visit with Yonk and oh, I can't think of the name of the new
oh, Fidget.
uh, Fidget. Yeah, go speak with Yonk and her new friend Fidget, and ask them about potions, see if they need me to purchase anything, and then I may just spend some time, with my little personal shrine that I have, and collect some flowers and things, and just spend some time meditating. So if we're 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 good for now. If you want to spend the time doing your workouts and things, and I may even spend some little bit of time later working on my circus act more.
Oh, excellent. You had mentioned you wanted to do some sort of collaboration.
Yes, but I haven't quite decided what would be suitable yet, or if that's something that we're at a point where we want to do, but that's a possibility.
Well, I never really worked with anyone, you know, before. I mean, well, street performers don't usually work in pairs. Um, be warned, any street performers you do see who work in a team are more than likely casing the crowd to um, pick the easiest of pockets. They're usually cut purses amongst them.
Okay. Um, it's something we can consider and perhaps discuss at another time. As I say, I don't want to interrupt what you were doing, and I think I can accomplish what I need to just by staying around the camp for now.
Well, you know where I am. If you need me for anything, I'm always at your service, my lady.
Thank you.
And you go over to find Yonk, and she's in her little corner of, like, the back area of the tent. And it just looks like a mad scientist area. There's like just beakers and Bunsen burners and tubes and all sorts of weird shit bubbling and popping and whatnot. And actually, Fidget is there with Yonk, um, and they're like working on some sort of like the area is dimmed aside from just the light from the Bunsen burners, but it looks like they're trying to make some sort of, you know, fluorescent colorings of some kind. Like you just see these like glowing purples and yellows and oranges and whatnot, and every so often you'll, you know, hear like a little whiz bang or a pop or something, and like just some sparks flying in that particular area.
Excuse me, Yonk?
Oh,
Fidget?
yes, yes. Hey.
Would you, Shather has, we have a little bit of downtime. Shather has asked if I might investigate getting some additional healing potions. Uh, would that be something you would have time to do? And are there any materials you would need me to purchase?
Potions. I can make potions. Potions. No bombs, just potions.
Well, bombs are nice too. Uh, if you know, might not hurt to have just a couple of those on hand as well. If someone not trained can use them, of course.
Oh, it's just you just throw it.
Okay, sure. Why not? That sounds like a grand idea.
Um, I need a day. I haven't been making any potions because you heal the people. So, um, and no one's asked for potions before, so I haven't bothered making any. So, um, but yeah, I can make potions. Potions are good. Um,
Okay.
and she will give you like um, she gives you a list of some medicinal herbs um, that should grow, you know, in the more wooded areas around Escadar. Um, so she doesn't know specifically where, but you know, she asks if you can, you know, if you can find, you know, a good portion of this stuff. Um, once she has it, it'll take about a day, and she can, uh, you know, make you some potions.
Okay, I'll tell her I'd be happy to do that. That would be something I'd enjoy doing. And then I guess my next question, just out of character here, is Jathal going to, you know, do his thing if I try to go
Oh,
out into
if
the
you
forest?
leave the campground, like he will he will be like on your tail.
All right.
Like
So
you don't know how, but whenever you whenever you attempt to leave the safety of your companions or the circus area, like he's just kind of there, a couple steps behind you.
okay, so what I will do then is I will go back to my 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 uh, caravan, my tent, whatever. Um, take out my little statue and spend some time meditating to give Jathal time to, you know,
Work out.
finish his workout, and then I will head out to gather some flowers for Desna and all the herbs and things that are on the list, knowing that Jathal will be there.
Alrighty. Um. So. Mm, where would Shothra be while all that was happening?
Then I go to the wolves' den and
You're
scope the
gonna
place out.
head out to the wolves den. Are
Mm-hmm.
you letting anyone know you're heading out that way, or are you just gonna just go and head out that way?
Gonna go with Wolfie.
That's I'm just pretty much guessing wherever you go, Wolfie is like following. So
Yeah.
unless you
Might pull
tell me
apart.
otherwise, I'm presuming she's right there with you.
The only other thing she would tell is maybe Bardoff. Probably Bardoff.
Alrighty. So you head out to that wooded area. Um, as you approach, um, the den, um, you see that there's some sort of like near one of the bushes. There's like a placard or some sort of signpost or something that's posted uh, near the wolf den.
Sorry.
How you doing?
Oh, can you not hear me? What? I said, what did it say?
Oh, so you get close to it, and it just in common, it just reads, um, "Active wolf den, um, protected species, by order of." Sorry, hold on. By order of Chief Constable Adara Paldrine, and it just says beware.
Huh.
So she didn't kill them.
Alright. Huh? She's gonna walk in to the wolf den. Leave the sign up.
Right, and are you wearing your regalia?
Always now. Now that I know it can. Now that it can.
Transform.
Not
Alrighty.
only do that, but also clean itself and not get tattered and all that.
Alrighty, yeah, you walk in. Um, so you walk in, and there's like a ton of, you know, you don't even have to make a search for them. Like you can tell, like a large number of bodies have been tromping through here. Uh, Humanoid people, you know, like obvious blue patterns. Um, the living area that you had found previously has pretty much just been picked bare. Anything that looked like it had any sort of significance or any value of any kind is whooshed. There's just, you know, remnants of whomever was staying there. Well, you know who was staying there because you guys have the journal. But and then as
Anything
you
else we found?
um, and then as you get close to the wolf's den, because it's during the day, so you know they're probably sleeping. Um, but there's another sign, um, like just before you get to the actual den. Um, one just says, "Beware, uh, wolf den ahead." And then below that sign, um, it actually says, uh, caution, uh, fungal growth. Enter at your own peril.
Oh.
Bundle growth. That wasn't
So
there the
that's
last
what
time.
this is.
But that's what that's on. That's the well. The sign is new, but that's what
Oh,
the
it's by the. Oh, it's by over here. Okay. Oh, that's right. All right. Well, all right. Maybe I'll warn them about that.
oh they already you already know they don't go over there. They tell you
Oh,
it smell.
okay.
They tell you it smells bad. They don't go over there.
Mm. Okay. Well, I'll keep going. Not in the
Alrighty.
fun to where they are.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're pretty much sleeping for the most part. There's two wolves who are on guard duty, you know, and you know they're kind of on alert until you know you come around, and then you know they get a better whiff of you, um, and then they you know they ease up and they go, ah, it's the Green Sister. What brings you
Uh,
here?
just checking in on you all after the constable's guards traipsed through here.
Yes, the men, they came and there was a standoff, but they didn't attack, so the leader said we were not to attack as per our agreement. They did some, I think you call it cleaning, uh, over there, and like he points his nose back behind you, um, and then banged a bunch of wood with some scribbles into the ground, and then left.
They did not harm you.
No.
Well, they did say that someone got injured. Do you know? Did you guys see anything about why a guard got injured?
Oh, well, uh, that's his fault. And like he points to like one of the wolves who were sleeping. Um, you know, he thought they were here to invade our den, and he attacked before the leader called him off.
And the guards didn't retaliate?
Well, they were going to, but the leader made them stand down. He speaks. He speaks the man's tongue.
Speaks common? I did not know this. Is your leader perhaps awake?
He rests. We don't wake him until it's time to hunt.
Not even for visitors?
You are a friend to the tribe, to the pack, but we don't risk angering him. Like he has a very confused look on his face. Like he's just like, he's he's got a dog brain. He's like, he's just like, uh, you wake leader. He might not attack you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the information.
And
Should
they
give
step
like a-
they step
should give him
aside.
like
So
a head pat, like a nice little head pat on him. The one that was informing me.
Like Pat or
Like a
Pat?
pat,
Okay.
like a head pat, you know.
like he
Yeah,
like
that.
like he gives like he gives like a like a surprised look, and then he's just like he's kind of into it. Getting dog
Nice
brain.
head pat. Dog brain.
And then the pack leader is just basically amongst a a bunch of other wolves chilling.
She's just gonna like quietly go up to him. Maybe like give him a head scratch behind the ear. Hope he doesn't bite my hand off.
And when you do that, like his back leg starts to twitch, and then like he kind of snaps to, and then as he's baring his teeth and he begins to growl, he like looks at you and he goes, "Ah, it's the Green Sister. I take it's
Morning.
important."
Yes, actually. I
Morning.
do apologize for waking you in your middle of your slumber.
And then he looks over at the two guarding, and they kind of like kind of
Better while I do.
yeah, they're like we didn't know what to do. Um, he's like if you've come to disturb me, I take it's at least important to some degree.
Yes, your guards filled me in on the situation. What happened with the human guards? I was just wanting some clarification on a couple things.
Yes, they came intended on moving us forcefully. That one attacked before I gave the order and injured one of their warriors, if you can call him that. He was a runt. I made my pack stand down and I talked to the the one who appeared to be their commander. I think that's the word they used. He was surprised I could use their speech.
I was not aware you could use their speech.
It was one of the blessings given by the Bogus before you got rid of him. It's not something that we or I like to make known.
Oh, got
Since
it.
you could actually talk to us without using their man tongue, there was no reason for me to divulge that information.
Yeah, good point. Um, I've they didn't. They just left after that one attacked and put up the signs and didn't bother you after that. They didn't try to attack you.
No, I told them that you had said that as long as we are not harmed, we would not harm them, and we kept our word. I apologized for that one stupidity. It seemed to placate them.
I can see by the signs they wrote, which I was
Yes, they were very loud.
surprised. I'm sure. I was very worried that when that injured guard came out and the commander came up to us and said that there was an active wolves den, I was afraid they might have killed you.
They could have tried. We would have mauled them and their bones would be amongst our pile.
I'm sure it would have been. But I'm glad it didn't come to that.
They were surprisingly agreeable for men. Well, human men.
Glad to hear. And I'm glad you guys get to keep. I don't think anybody's gonna bother you anymore.
I told their commander that we would use this den, but we would hunt in other lands. As long as they did not encroach on our den, we would leave them be and allow them to do whatever humans do in this area.
Well, before us, it wasn't really much. So.
Well, I know there have been other men, woodcutters and the like, chopping down some of the trees further north. I'm not sure what they have planned. Then there were other men with weird things on their eyes going to the ruins. They dressed in
What?
robes and had pointy hats.
What ruins are those? Where you said it was up north?
Where you found Fidget and her two brothers?
Uh-huh.
That's the ruins he's talking about.
So there's something more down there.
I don't know. We don't have any need to head over there.
Was this more recent? Or was
The
this
other-
before we got here?
After.
This
After
was
the-
after we got here.
Yes, after the commander came and put the wood in the ground with his scribbles.
And then now there's some people with pointy hats going into the ruins. Interesting.
It's not our den.
No.
And we don't care much for that particular area. It's too close to the water. It hurts our noses.
Of course.
And further down the area is more like a
Oh,
coastal.
I remember now.
It's a coastal cliff. So there's it's not prevalent here, but the further southwest you went, you smelled more salt air.
Interesting. Thank you for this information. Again, I do apologize for interrupting your sleep. If you see any other weird things that are going around here, just let me know.
I'll send one of our scouts to warn you if anything is amiss or if the men break their bargain.
Especially if they break their bargain. I will come deal with them myself. But I don't think they will.
You should come hunt with us one night.
You know, I would love that.
Yes.
I haven't gone on a good hunt in a very long while.
And and Wolfie's like, yeah, eat their entrails.
Jesus, Wolfie. Oh.
And it's he smiles a dire Wolfie smile, and he's like, you raised that one well.
I try. I just wish I could keep more of her brethren around with her. But
I don't her pack is strange to us.
The way she and I met was strange as well. I don't know where her pack is or if she even still has one.
Well, when she is grown and she's of mating age, I will find my best, and she will have grand pups. And she can start a new pack.
Sure. Yeah, we'll put a pin on that one. Yeah. She can have puppies. She's got some time before that.
And she looks at you and she goes, how do I make puppies?
On that note, we'll just be going.
You gotta have the talk with your dog.
I don't know if she's ready for that talk.
Nope. Well, I mean, we could always, raise a litter. Who knows?
So are you heading back to the camp? Are you heading to the city? What are you doing?
I'm gonna go back to the camp.
Don't forget you still got those
You know what?
dinosaurs.
Yeah, I gotta take care of those dinosaurs. And I also gotta check in on Bardoff. You know what, Wolfie? How about Bardoff can explain it to you how that works?
Okay.
I'll leave you with Bardoff while I go take care of our new friends. And she'll just push Wolfie along, all right, let's go.
All right, she follows along, and he nuzzles back into his little sleeping position, and he gives a big old growly yawn.
Carry on. We'll be going. Bye.
Alrighty. So
At this point, birds and the bees to a wolf.
She's still a baby. So you head back to the camp. So are
Yep.
are you actually gonna pawn her off to Bardoff while you go?
Yeah. Bardoff can explain to her the birds and the bees.
Alrighty. So you pawn her off to Bardoff, and she's the conversation you hear you're like, nope, I don't want any part of this at all. and you just head
Nope.
over to where the the little dinosaurs' eggs have hatched, um, and um, the there was one, the more like the tanky one,
That one's
immediately,
imprinted on me, yeah.
yeah, that one immediately comes up to you and is like, and the people who are the circus folk who are taking care of it, say that it's eating well and everything is good, um, and then they go, the other one has been, kind of a troublemaker.
Kind of a butthead. I do have
Raptor.
the raptor.
Yep.
What a surprise! It's the raptor. I do have a feat. That one, I have tame animal. Maybe I can help it calm itself a little bit.
Almost born race.
Or did I already? Is that what I did already with them?
Who did the raptor imprint on?
Nobody.
She tried and
Oh
It
it
boy.
just it,
I tried and didn't do it. The other one
Ah.
did, but that
Yep.
one did not.
Let's see. It's not actively hostile. It's confined to a small area. Speed diameter. Yeah, they're in a pen. Um, you can perform in 10 minutes if you're expert. You're not an expert yet in nature, are you?
Mm. My nature. Eh. No, I'm trained.
Okay.
Not there yet.
Alrighty. So give me a nature check. See if you can try and, tame this little aggro raptor.
As apparently he's been a little dickhead compared to my tanky one. That's a little bit more like a little angel baby. Already using a freaking hero point. Damn 5. Gosh. Whatever, fine. We'll just take that. Whatever. Because he's gonna be a little shithead still.
What'd you get total?
14.
14.
6.
14 is not good enough, unfortunately. But you can make another attempt tomorrow. You can make one
I'll
attempt
make
per day.
another attempt tomorrow.
Uh,
I'm
but
being a little shithead.
like it looks at you and you try and tame it and you try and feed it whatever, it like snaps at you. It doesn't actually like try and bite you, but it's still just like it just not it's not chill with
He's
you at
not
all.
having it. He's not having it like his brother.
Yeah, the other one, like when you try to feed it and it doesn't take whatever you offer it, like that one, it just like just goes up to you, like wagging its little spiked ball tail.
Yeah, come up with names of these guys. Oh my god, I don't even know what to name them.
No, you don't have to name them right now.
Like a brat.
Yeah, I might name the other one Brat. I don't even know if they're boys or girls.
The caretakers tell you that the armadillo one is a girl, but the like this raptor is very much boy.
Jeez, there's no interspecies breeding.
You can and they tell you can tell this one it's a boy because the plumage is very bright. It's not muted, and that's from you know from handling animals that for anything that is more of an avian or has avian ancestry, the males tend to have more pronounced or brightly colored plumage for attracting mates. So
Yeah,
If you got it, flaunt it.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta look at the person, but it's not to take me, but to get this one a little bit under control. So I apologize.
That's okay. We just keep them separated, and like there's a little pen area, um, and it's has a K and whatnot, and there's a divider to keep the two separated until the raptor becomes a little bit more agreeable.
I'm working on it.
So what else are you doing?
Oh, after that, I don't know. Should probably just go hang out with Bardoff and Wolfie the rest of the day.
See where their talk is at.
Yeah, see
Yeah.
where they're talking at. Let's see where they're talking.
It,
Where are they at with the talk?
So
it's
you
like this ball,
so you
okay?
you come back, and then like Wolfie like like runs up to you, and she stands up and she puts her paws on your leg, and she goes, "Making babies is nasty."
She's just well, yeah, that's all I got. She's just gonna well,
She's just like, "Nope, I don't want to make babies. That's nasty."
well, you might change your mind when you get older.
Nope.
Okay.
She's like,
But
anyone that tries to make babies with me, I'm gonna eat their entrails.
well, I'll let our friend know that next time we see him. Thanks, Bardoff.
Okay. Alrighty. So Cantrell and Shima. So you guys are trying to find like a library or something.
Yeah.
Public or private doesn't matter. What
So
I'm
I'm
really looking for is
so how are you going to attempt to start looking for a library? Because you guys been here a while, but no one has really taken the time to really survey the city.
well, that's what the
So
guards are for. They're also
I
direction
found
givers.
I found the
all
best
right.
place though. I found the bar. That's all that matters.
Fair. The bar is the most important, however, for the nerd.
All right, so you get to the gate to to the town because
Hmm.
and you ask a guard, you say hey, is there a library or something like that around, um and then
Higher learning.
the guard looks at you and he goes, well, we don't really have uh like a library. Like, you want like mage learning or you want priest learning?
Do you have anything like history or maybe even map making?
No, that's mage learning. You want to go to the magisterium.
Magisterium. All right. I appreciate your time, sir. And we'll continue on to the Magisterium. Which direction is that, by the way?
Oh,
Is
he
it the
points
big
it
tall
out.
tower? Yeah.
Well, he goes, it's that big tall tower,
Yeah. Alrighty. I appreciate it. Thank you.
and it's a couple blocks away. I mean, this is like Escadar is a city. Um,
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness.
so
Uh,
like Escadar is about, I think it's like roughly about half the size of Manhattan.
just about, yeah. Going into the
So
map. Uh,
so yeah, they just point to like a district off to like where the more clean, shiny buildings are, and he just goes, that one's the magisterium.
Alright. On the way, I look for maybe something I could show off to Shima a little bit.
In regards
Um,
to like,
my new abilities. One particular one is like catfall. So if I find a place that's like kind of going up and then jump back down.
And you
uh,
don't kill yourself on a fall.
um, like as you get closer to this particular part of of the city, not really. Like if you were more towards like the district where Shothra likes to hang out, that area,
Hmm.
there's a lot, because that area is not too far from the wharf, and that's where all the weird scaffolding type area
Yeah.
is, because that's where all the loading docks and crazy stuff is.
Gotcha. All
Like
right.
it's
Fair
like it's
enough.
like closer to the warehousing district, you would find something more like that. But in this area, there's not going to be a lot of places where random hazards would be around.
Hmm. Fair
Especially
enough.
as the closer you get to it, the cleaner the streets and the larger the guard presence is.
Well, that's still fine. I think we can have ourselves a little bit of fun. Hey, Shima,
Yes.
wager a race.
I guess.
Fair enough. What's the wager, you think?
Mm, 2 gold.
2 gold?
Make it
Fair
frisky.
enough.
Big spender.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Alrighty.
you guys have money, but 2 gold is a lot for a commoner.
It's a lot for a commoner, but we just
Yeah.
kind of like chilling. All right. Fair enough. That's agreeable. Hmm. All right then. In three, two, one, go. And we're
So,
off to the Magisterium in a parkour race, basically. It's one
alrighty,
of Cantrell's pastimes.
alrighty. So I'll say you guys are about from where you initiate this particular challenge. You're about roughly 5 blocks, and I'm talking like New York style blocks. Not little
Yeah.
tiny,
They're they're like
not little tiny Boston blocks.
so this is going to be about a mile and a half run.
Yeah, at least a mile.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, so you guys, you book it, and um, so let's do this. So each of you roll me a d6.
D6. Mhm.
Yep.
Got a 6.
Got a 3.
Alrighty. So unfortunately, Shima, you take the more hazardous path.
Oh
Um,
God.
so you said you got a 3, right, Cantrell?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're both are running side by side, um, and you're going to have to give me 2 checks, and Shima will have to give me 3 checks. So at the first point where you're getting close to something that you're gonna do some weird parkour thingy off of, I need an athletics check of some kind or
Okay.
acrobatics, up to you.
I'll do athletics.
Got acrobatics.
The only before you tell me what your role is, um, if your trick specifically uses athletics or acrobatics, you can use your performance if it's a higher number.
Mine doesn't. And I don't think Shima has a trick, so we're good.
Alrighty, so this is gonna be a contested check.
Hmm.
So actually, no, we'll do DCs.
Okay.
What am I gonna set the DC as? All right, I have a nice number. All right, what are you rolling, and what did you get? Cantrell first.
Okay.
I got athletics, and I rolled a 12 for a total of 23.
Alrighty, you're able to successfully uh, get past this one part. There's uh, basically you're going, down the street, and it's a little busy in this particular area, and there's 2 merchant carts vying for trying to get past each other, and you basically just hop on, just jump onto like the passenger side of one of the carts and jump on top of it and leap over it. As you keep going, and like the merchants just like all he's like dumbstruck. It's like, what the hell just happened? And he's
Top of
like,
the morning to you.
and he's like checking his pockets and shit. He's like, but he doesn't call for a constable, so you don't think anything
Yeah,
is
yeah. As soon as he
amiss.
finds his coin first, he's like, "Okay, we're good."
Yeah. All right, Shima,
I'm
what'd you get?
doing I'm doing acrobatics and I got a 28.
Oh wow, uh, that is not a critical success, but that's really good. Um, so you're approaching the same blockage and traffic, and you see the route Cantrell's takes, and you don't want to bump into him. The building on your right has this very ornate ledging um, on it, and you basically just jump, and almost like a wall jump. You're basically running on this like little 5 foot, like I'm sorry, this little like 5 inch like outcropping of stone masonry, and you're just blah 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 blah, along the wall, and you hop back onto the street, and people are just like what the hell's going on, and like and like you hear like as because you guys are running, so you're not really hearing what's going on, but there are people, they're whispering, like no one's calling for constables or anything like that, like people just like as you go past people in this weird display of acrobatic showmanship, everyone's just like whispering, like what's going on, we don't get it. um so you guys are booking it. There's another obstacle along the way. uh Basically, you didn't notice it because of the way the street turns, um, but you can either take this very narrow um, alley to go forward, or you have to like make this really abrupt bend. Um, and since Shima got the higher roll from the last check, Shima, what do you want to do? Do you want to take the alleyway, or do you want to take the sharp bend?
I'll I'll try with the shark bend.
Alrighty. So you shoot around the sharp bend, and there's basically um, there's like I don't say an old lady, but there's like a woman in her you know mid 20s, whatever, and she has a group of children, and it looks like they're out on some sort of excursion, but I mean they're right there as you turn the bend. Give me your check.
Be let's see, 25 with acrobatics.
Alrighty, so that is a success. So you hit this sharp bend, and like you see this woman, she just gives you just like the like holy crap, I'm about to get run over, and you just do this kind of like, I want to say like a floor routine jump, and you're basically like jumping and pouncing through and around past her and the children, finding all the spots where you can just perfectly step and basically spring over to the next spot. And you basically just, with a couple of well timed leaps, bounce past this crowd of people, and like the kids just look in awe as you just, this cat lady just comes around the corner and just basically just dances past them and just shoots off into the distance.
As I'm doing this, I also turn and wink at them.
All right, so that leaves the small alley to you, Cantrell.
Oh, alrighty, here we go. Athletics. Ooh, okay. That is gonna be a 27
All right, so
to get through it.
that's definitely a pass. Not a critical success, but basically, in a similar fashion to how Shima earlier did her little wall jump, you take inspiration. The alley's very narrow, obviously meant for foot traffic and not any carts of any kind. But there are people in the alley, sidestepping and squeezing past. Um, and you basically, Mario Galaxy, wall jump
Wall jump. I like to think
pass.
that like because he's still wearing his robe. It's like how the performers in Japan do, where they have like the long sleeves, and it's just making that weird optical illusion of fans
Yep.
as he's going like flipping and jumping back and forth. And then when he gets to the end, he just kind of lands, dusts himself, and then continues going.
Alrighty. Um, so you see that you have a clear shot for the building that was pointed out to you by the guard. Um, so Shima, you come around this corner and you have to you have to make this weird, like, run down this U-shaped street because there's some building of some kind in the way that they didn't, for whatever reason, make a wider street to go past or something. You don't know. Um, so you're coming around this bend, and it's an actual street that you're running around. Um, and as you're running around the street, there is like a guard patrol that is coming, you know, around the blind corner and towards you. So I need one last check from you.
And that would be a 27
Alrighty,
in
that's all.
acrobatics.
All right, also a success. So basically, these guys are, coming, they're marching. It's like just a small contingent, like a half dozen, but they're marching lockstep, and you basically just dive through them as they're stepping, and you're stepping onto where they're stepping off of. So it looks like this very strange dance that you're doing with these marching guards. And as you get past the last pair, they haven't broken step because of you dashing past them, and they just like turn and just look at you weird. And again, they're like they check, like you can see them like checking their pockets. Like no one's blowing any whistles. They're just like, what the hell was that about?
The guard blows the whistle. What?
All right, so you guys
Shimmer
are
gives
now.
a slight bow before continuing on.
All right, so you guys are now heading to the home stretch, and this is basically going to be a contested check to see who actually makes it to the steps of the building in time.
Alrighty. Okay.
All right.
Who wants to say it first?
Either or.
Alright, I'll go ahead and say it. Total of a 29.
26.
Alrighty, so Shima, you come around this corner and you catch the tail end of Cantrell as he basically floats out of this alleyway, and you guys are running towards the steps, and he's just just that much ahead of you because you had that last obstacle and you just weren't able to overcome getting past the last one, and he just beats you by a stride.
That was
He's
close.
still very winded though.
Hey, that was fun.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've done something that crazy. Oof. Oh, but definitely breaks the monotony of just walking. Oh my goodness, especially in these cities. Good Lord,
Right.
it's like every other building looks the same.
She gives you a little pat on the back.
Because of your successes and your interactions, and you did not flub anything or crash into anyone or embarrass yourselves as you were running through the streets. Um, you earn 10 anticipation for your next performance.
Yes. That was kind of like the secondary goal is like, let's see if this gains some interest. Because yeah, drinking's fun and all, but have you ever seen this? Especially with the dancing through the crowd of kids and the old lady. Hell yeah, that'll definitely get the youngins in. All
All right.
right.
So you guys make your exchange of, debts paid. Um, so you guys, walk into the magisterium. It's actually called something else, but I like magisterium more than the name they gave it.
Yeah, just give me PTSD for Rage, why don't you?
um, and so you basically guys walk in, and I mean, it looks like a library. There's just rows and rows of book, and it's very ornate, and there's like this large, just overly, you know, ornate and engineered platform where a very scholarly gentleman sits, and he looks, he pushes up his specs, and he looks down at you from his like little lofty sitting area, and he goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, actually, I am Cantrell, and this is my associate Shima,
Gives a
and
bow.
we are looking to learn a little more about the region that we are currently in.
Oh, you wish to use the services of the magisterium. Um, that's fine. There is a fee.
Hmm.
Um, uh, to keep things in order and maintained and staffed, we have to charge those who wish to peruse our collection um, a fee depending on how long they wish to um, remain studying.
Hmm.
It's 10 silver pieces an hour.
Uh, Shima, that bet we made, I think that covers it.
All right.
So you're gonna make her spend the fee from the 2 gold
I won the
that she owes you.
race, so the 2 gold she was going to pay me is going to go into this.
Okay, too funny.
So
You're gonna have to break a platinum though.
fine. Does an exchange of 10 gold for your platinum.
So are you openly exchanging a platinum in front of this guy?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure you would have other denominations of coins on you, not just walking around with bags full of platinum.
Unfortunately, I only had one gold piece on me.
I technically had 101, so
That is just for bookkeeping purposes. I mean, most people like have their stuff broken down. If you only have the platinum's worth of gold, you can make that gold pieces and have silver pieces. Unless you just want to
okay.
carry around platinum pieces. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. That's your prerogative. It's less coins to
Yeah,
carry.
I'll break it down later.
Alrighty. So he has this. Actually, let me see. Are you just doing it, or are you trying to be sneaky about it?
I'll be a little sneaky about it.
Alrighty. And then give me a sleight of hand, please.
Is that like just stealth or?
Hold on. I forget. It's not sleight of
Yeah.
hand in here.
Yeah, there's thievery, scam, lore, there's society stealth. What else is there?
Give me 1 second. Oops. Nope. I did not want to do that. Sorry, I closed the window I did not mean to close.
Oh no.
There we go. Hello. Why are you not opening? Game, what are you doing? That is okay. You're pissing me off now.
I mean, there's pickpocketing. It's thievery.
Did you get moved somewhere that I don't see? What are you doing? Oh, you're killing the game. No, I don't want to do that. Why are you not showing up? Oh, this is annoying. Roll 20. Can you not be a derp and just reopen the window?
When I was using Roll20 yesterday, it froze on me twice.
Okay, that opened. So then, why won't you open? Oh, you're killing me, game. Sorry, I don't know why Roll20 is being dumb. But all the information about this area is in this tab I just closed, and it won't open it back up. So I need to... Alright, give me a second. I need to exit and go back in. Oh my god. Fucking pain in my ass. Sorry about that. Like, literally, I don't know why it wouldn't open. It would open new stuff. It just wouldn't reopen that one that I closed because it popped out by accident. But the window that popped out doesn't exist in my bar anywhere. So it's just...
Do you have a history check?
No, because you have an option in Roll20 for like segments of a chapter,
Oh.
because they're notes, so you can pop them out into separate windows. But I closed it so I can reopen it back in to the main Roll20 window. But yeah, it wouldn't do it because it's being stupid.
Refresh Roll20.
That didn't work. I just had to exit and go back in. It was, like I said, it was just being dumb. Alrighty, so you guys, so I was looking for what roll you need to make before I got so horribly distracted by Roll20 being a derp. It's like, so it would be thievery.
All right, that would be a unnatural 20.
Okay, so let's see what he gets. Oh yeah, he totally does not notice you guys like doing your drug deal in front of him. And you are you gonna hand him? So you hand him a gold piece, and he's like that's fine, and he basically he gives let's see, is it per person? Here is containing permission. No, he's gonna count you as like a singular. So he gives you to, like a hard piece of, card stock. It's like literally a 3x5, and it's a little thicker than regular paper, and he basically just you know, he he hands it to Shima first
Hmm.
since she gave the money, um, and then while he's holding on to it, he just has you state your name,
Mm.
and
Shima.
then you do that, and then basically like a little like square box appears with some writing next to it, and in the box is like a picture of your face, and it just says your name, and then he hands it over to Cantrell, and he has you do the same thing.
Trail Fleetwood.
Fancy. And then under hers, same thing. A little square pops up, has your name, has your face on it, and he goes, um, "The moment you pull a book from one of the shelves, um, the timer will start." And
Ah,
you basically see like four under your both names. You see, like four big zeros with like this with the colon in between them,
mm.
and it's not doing anything. And Shima, you have the card, and he goes, "What information are you looking for specifically?"
Uh, these towers that have large iron stones attached to them. They're around the region. I wish to study their locations, their purpose, what each of the iron stones there represent to the people of these lands.
Oh, you wish to research about Aridin then? Um,
Hmm.
well, information regarding him and the raising of the islands um, are going to be mostly in. He points out a section, like he goes over there mostly. There are some references that are scattered throughout the rest of the magisterium, but if you're looking specifically on information um, on Aradin, then that's where you'd want to start.
That's
Okay.
wonderful. Hmm.
Also, anything on the what's it called? The Moonstone. What was it?
The
Moonstone Temple?
Yeah,
Moonstone Hall.
Moonstone Hall?
yeah. If Control's gonna just look for like stuff on the island stones in general, I'll see if I can find anything specific on the Moonstone Hall.
Well, you have to be in proximity to each other because he only gave you one card.
Okay.
If you
We'll
want to
be
set,
doing that. We'll just take our time, like doing our research.
so
Shared
he
path.
tell he well he tells you that it's basically roughly in the same area. He tells you that the Moonstone Hall, from my recollection, was a temple uh, created in Aradin's uh, honor. So several centuries ago. Um, I'm not very versed on that subject. Religion is not really my forte, but like I said, it does fall under most of the information regarding Aradin. So if you start in that section first, I'm sure any references to the Moonstone Hall will point you in the right direction.
Okay.
Most obliged. Thank you for your time, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. If you exceed your hour's time, you can basically put your coinage there, and he points to a spot on the card,
Hmm.
and it will deposit and give you another hour. Once your time is up, any books that you've pulled from the shelves will place themselves back where they belong, and you won't be able to pull any more books from the shelves unless a new deposit is made.
Understandable.
All right.
All
Shima
right.
will keep an eye on the time, and if need be, she'll put another gold in.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so you guys are in the magisterium. You go to the section, you find it's pretty easy. Um, uh, so, searching for material that you're looking for, I need either a society check or any other potential lore check that you could make an argument for relevance.
Hmm. I don't really think Aradin was a scamming kind of religion, so I don't think my knowledge there will help.
You would
Otherwise, I
have to
would have
make
heard of him.
you'd have to make a religion check if you want to try and remember anything specific about um, Aradin's pantheon.
Yeah, I think we'll just go with a straight society check from myself.
Same here.
All right.
That is gonna be 25.
And a 19 from Cantrell.
Uh, so Kentrell, you can't really find anything. You're looking, you get distracted, by some other stuff in the area, and you start going down this rabbit hole of information that's not really what you're looking about. Um, Shima, on the other hand, um, you do find reference to um, the the Moonstone Hall um, being buried shortly after Aradin's death. Um, while you're searching, um, you do find that uh, Aradin is basically I want to say like he's a general god of knowledge, specifically for humans. Um, his think think Ogma,
Hmm.
uh, general knowledge, crafting, things of that nature. Nothing, very specific. Just society in general. There is mention um, of the. So you do find, as you're looking and you find some information on Aradin, you find that the Moonstone Hall was buried shortly after his perceived death. There's been no confirmation. You do know that priests of Aradin do not receive spells, according to the text that you found, which is one of the presumptions that he is dead. There was a prophecy that Aradin was supposed to return sometime centuries ago, but at the appointed time of his reappearance, it did not happen. And after that time, um, is when his pantheon fell into um, disrepair for the most part. Um, you do find some notes in the margin um, regarding that the Moonstone Hall is actually under Escadar, and they're one of the better known entryways is in the Woodworkers District, um, as there was when it was frequented as a tourist attraction, sign of respect. Um, Mainly for nobles, they would basically enter this particular district and go to the temple to pay their respects and do things like that. Um, uh, there's reference to a mermaid fountain of some kind marking the entrance, and you don't need to go past the hour unless you want to find any additional information. Um, but you do know that, according to what you've found so far, that the Moonstone Hall is indeed under Escadar, not near Escadar, and there is a known entrance in the Woodworkers District of Escadar.
Something about the mermaid fountain.
Yeah, the marker is a mermaid fountain in that district.
Alright. Since Cantrell couldn't find what he wanted, I'll try to help him with his search for a book.
And Cantrell will actually offer up the gold piece this time to continue the hour next. And
And what additional information are you looking for?
Uh, the the known tower of uh that will have the Iron Stone. Where would it be located? Is it the Moonstone Hall or is it something else?
Well, you don't even have to do that. You know from the previous information you found in the last chapter that the Ion Stone for Escadar is in the Moonstone Hall.
It is in there. Okay, fair enough. That's uh, unless there was like an old map of it.
Not with that roll.
Nah. So I would have to wait another day before I could do another search. Or
Um, Mechanically, you've succeeded in finding information. To find any additional information, you would have had to have critically succeeded, which Shima did not. Um,
fair enough.
Going forward, you would only find similar information or expanded information on what you already succeeded on. You wouldn't find anything really new. I will
Okay.
tell you that much.
With that, I think we can save our money then. I think we found what we needed.
All right.
And also, I'm pretty certain Gwydon would not be opposed to helping another god probably be rescued or renewed. Hmm.
Well, as far as you know, Arodin's dead and has been dead for centuries.
The key word was supposedly.
Again,
And yeah,
there's no definitive proof on his death.
exactly. So,
You do find a picture of him, and he is a rather handsome, smartly man. Um, Arodin is Arodin is one of his aliases is the last Azanti.
that's Azanti. Azant. I
Aslanti, Azlanti,
gotcha.
Aslanti.
Aslanti.
Yeah, he looks somewhat like someone from Tien, which is the Asian continent area.
I.
Yeah.
Tiananese.
Not specifically. He does look like he is. He does look like he's from that area.
Hmm.
But he definitely has. He does have features that are from that area. Tien, Chilaxia. Um,
Okay, so
so
not Minkai. Okay.
yeah, so he's like his features are definitely from that area, but that's just so you have an idea of more than likely where um, his
His
story.
origin was. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Huh. Would have loved
Alrighty.
to have known him back then.
Yep.
All
Long time
right.
ago. And with that, we're gonna take our first break. A little overdue, but guys are doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Um, Alrighty, guys. So we're gonna take a break. It's be about 10 minutes. Get up, stretch your legs, do all that fun, happy stuff, and we'll be back in a little bit to continue our adventure after we decide what everyone wants to do. We'll be right back.
Like, wow.
Yeah, normally fiends are resistant to fire, so the good damage does really hella good.
Yeah, wow. I may have to get more d6. Well, I'll just have to move more d6s into that dice bag.
I'll just
And
buy
And
a.
back.
we're
Uh-oh.
we're live.
Hello.
Hello.
Hellas.
Give me a second. There we go. Stop. I recognize that sound. That's an angry kitty.
Oh, my cat's sitting right next to me. She has a little trouble with her breathing.
Aww.
Aw.
Come here, Milk.
I saw Siva's cat earlier, and she's getting so big.
They both are. Like,
Oh my god!
they're,
It feels like yesterday you just like I got two new kittens.
yeah,
Yep.
they're hefty cats. You don't know, of course, how big they're going to be, but for female cats, they're quite large, actually, and very powerful. They knocked over a wooden cat condo,
Oh
and
no!
it actually part of it shattered.
Oh,
Like
Jesus.
Oh no!
it was wooden. We've repaired it all. We repaired it this summer, but it was one that my husband had made. And it's lovely, but they hit it full tilt running, and the tower part on it is about 8 feet tall, and they hit the top of the tower, and the whole thing went over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Never,
Does
in all the
Milky
years we've
have
had cats, never seen a cat that
allergies?
could do that.
Physics.
Does Milky have allergies?
No, she had something with her neck. It turned out I found out that it was an abscess.
Oof.
Oh
And-
yeah, my guinea pigs have that all the time.
Yeah,
All the
well,
time.
she would scratch it off her, try to scratch it in her neck and make a hole and drain it. But this time I think it moved, so it's no longer in her neck; it's elsewhere.
I'd get that removed as soon as possible if you can.
Well, when I took her to the vet for it, when I first brought her home from my dad's after he passed away, the doctor said they couldn't do any surgery on her neck because of where it is.
Oh, it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Mm. It's still dangerous. It's also dangerous to leave it on there. I don't know why they would. Huh.
Mm.
But if it moved, maybe it would be in a place that they can move it now.
Hopefully.
Mm,
The thing is, I just don't have the money right now to take her to the vet.
Yeah.
that's expensive.
Yes, it is.
How did I get my guinea pig spayed?
It's $213 for the consultation.
Yeah, if for anyone who has pet babies and you have a full time job, the next time your insurance renews, see if your company has pet insurance. A lot of them are starting to have it
I
now.
wish.
Take
Even
advantage.
then, even then, like I
It
don't think
helps.
well, my
It
company would never
helps.
pay for it.
I mean, I'm saying if your company has it, it helps. I know
Yeah.
people who've had it, and I know other people who hadn't. And yeah, the bill is way bigger for the people who didn't have pet insurance than the people who
My
did.
my vet that I take them to said that they don't take it right away. They so you have to pay for it out of pocket, and then you have to send them the invoice to the pet insurance company, and they might refund you however much. They might not cover all of it.
Oof.
So that's what my vet said, because they do not do with payment plans, and they do not do with uh pet insurances. It's just like, here's your bill, pay for it, you can deal with the pet insurance later. So
Yep.
I was like, well, maybe I won't do it.
Alrighty. So I'm presuming Shima and Cantrell are gonna head back to the campsite, or are you gonna do other stuff in the city?
Cantrell is satisfied. He'll head back to the campsite. What about you,
Yeah,
Shima?
pretty much.
Okay.
Although maybe on the way back we could just swing by that wood crafters area to take a look around.
I would hold off on that
All right.
just because we don't know if we're being tailed. Those
All right.
other circus people are still around, from what I heard.
Yeah, they're in Escadar.
Hmm.
They're in a different plot on a opposing side of the city.
You never
Um,
know.
Alrighty. So, um, Gwennon, um, are you gonna hold off on getting that stuff for Yonk to make potions, or are you going to
Uh,
head out?
okay, so I would have given Jathal what a cleric's best guess as to how long a warrior would work out, and then I am going to head out, assuming that he will somehow know, and follow me, and I will start doing my gathering.
Yep. And as you're packing up to leave to head out to take care of stuff for Yonk, sure enough, Jathal appears, ready for bear and escort.
Ah, Jathal, I assume you would like to join me. It's a little mundane, but we're going to be looking for some items. I have a list here from Yonk of what she needs to make some healing potions. It never
Ma-
hurts to have several ways to heal
it
people.
matters not. You're my charge, my lady. Wherever you go, I shall be there to protect you.
Yes, it's a little unnerving the way you seem to know what I'm doing all the time, but I'm all right with that. And Yonk also mentioned about making bombs. I'm not sure if any of the items here are for that, but I said that we would take whatever she made. So um, let's head out then and see what we can find.
Alrighty. So you guys, um,
And I am actually going to take this opportunity to don on that cloak that I have as
which
well.
which cloak? Remind me.
Okay, there
What that
was a.
makes her invisible?
Well, it doesn't make me invisible, but it makes me nondescript.
Oh,
Let me
the,
just see
the,
here.
the
Uninteresting to other people.
yeah, the generic gray elf cloak, as
Uh,
I would say in my D&D days back in the day. Um,
clandestine cloak is what it's called. Clandestine cloak. So I will be throwing that on if the day isn't too terribly warm. Just in case.
Let's see. So you have the regular clandestine cloak. So the way this works is when you pull the hood, when you pull up the hood of this nondescript gray cloak, it's an interact action. You become drab and uninteresting, gaining a +1 item bonus to stealth checks and deception checks to impersonate a forgettable background character, such as a servant, but also taking a -1 item penalty to diplomacy and intimidation checks.
Okay, but I'm not going to do the 2-action activation of it. I'm just gonna.
You just so you're putting it up, but you're not activating it.
Yeah, because the activation I can use once per day, and then I get non-detection for an hour. I'm not quite at that point. I just.
Putting it on just in case.
Yeah, sort of just to prevent it, just in case.
Okay. Are you pulling it up to try and hide your face, or you just want to have the hood down for when you're ready to use it?
I'll just have it ready to use if I need it.
All right, cool. So you're wearing your cloak. Are you going to go to the wooded area that you know of, or are you going to try and find a different area to try and find what you're looking for?
I think I'll go to the area that we have previously investigated and that I know to be theoretically clear of critters.
Okay. So you get out. It's early afternoon. Give me a nature check.
Is that survival? No, nature. Oh, I was hoping it would be survival. Okay. So that would be a 16.
Okay, give me a second here. That's 16. That's fast. Alrighty. So roll me with a 16. Roll me a d6.
Three.
Okay. And roll me another nature check. There's going to be 3 in total.
Okay. Second one is 23.
Okay. With the 23, you can roll me a d10.
D10 looks suspiciously like a D12.
Should not look like a d12.
That's why it's suspicious.
Yeah. Okay, and that's a 9.
Okay. And then the last nature check.
16 again.
Okay. That's another d6.
And that's another 3.
Okay. Now roll me a d4.
And I got a 4 on that.
Alrighty. So it takes you 4 hours to traverse this area and find what you can find for for Yonk's use. So you take it back.
And Gwennon being Gwennon, she probably would have, if she saw some wildflowers that were pretty, she would have picked those too.
Um,
Or
yeah,
the her altar to Desna.
yep, that would work. You can totally do that.
Do you need a roll for that?
Are you trying to find specific flowers, or are you just looking for like any sort of flower?
I think just sort of, I'm not aware that Desna favors any particular flowers,
Yeah,
so just some nice
if you're
flowers.
yeah if you're just picking pretty wildflowers, there's no need to roll for that.
Okay, yeah, just pretty wild flowers to put on the little portable altar thing I have for her.
Okay. Alrighty. Uh, so we go
And
back.
while we're gathering,
Mhm.
I'm going to see if I can chat with Chethal to get a sense of if he has any ideas of what he would like, of what he thinks might be possible for a double act for the circus. Since we've
Hmm.
got 4 hours, I can't imagine we wouldn't be chatting.
Um, well, considering what um, your performance is and what mine is, we can do something simple and try and combine the two. Or we can come up with something new. Um, is there anything else that you, performance wise, like to do other than your juggling, or are you, for the most part, dead set on doing something of that ilk?
Well, I'm willing to try whatever might work together. Um, I my training really is mostly juggling, but like maybe if I was balancing on the log and if I was performing, say, rather, uh, if I was juggling, say, not my ice things, but if maybe I was juggling candles or something, or let's say I was holding candles or just holding a couple candles, maybe you could extinguish them with your star knife by throwing it. And then maybe if I juggled ice daggers and had those all in the air, you could shatter them with your knife. Something like that was sort of what I was thinking might be possible. So it would
Uh,
take what you have been doing, but put it with things that I am already doing.
that is interesting. Um,
Because,
I deciding if I how comfortable I feel throwing my knives at you. Granted, I know um, it is an act and practice makes perfect, but um, I do have some trepidation at the risk of potentially harming you. Um, Perhaps something less dangerous and more ostentatious. Um, you mentioned that Miss Yonk wanted to uh, make some sort of bomb or something.
yeah,
Um,
some explosive things.
can she do something less explosive and more flashy?
I could ask.
Um, I do like the concept of combining our two acts together, but um, I would not like to risk potentially harming you. Maybe you could juggle some of these flashy bombs. Not sure how comfortable you like using the word bomb, but something that is less boom and more pretty. Um, and then as you're juggling them, I can either call them out or um, you can throw them somewhere, maybe at the audience, and I can like shooting skeet with an arrow, um, detonate them in the sky above the
Mm-hmm.
audience, so
Yeah,
they.
yeah. Like I had thought if I was even throwing the ice, I would throw it quite high so that it would be nowhere near my person. So you wouldn't have to be necessarily aiming directly at me. You could be aiming
Sure. I just
hopefully
don't
above me.
know. I just don't know if you know the ice from the knife shattering would visually be all that impressive.
No, I like the idea of in fact, interesting you should mention that because Yonk and Fidget were working when I went in there. They had their shop kind of dark and they were working on all sorts of sort of brightly colored things that seemed to glow in the dark. So that might work very well. So I will ask when I take all of these herbs and things to them.
Yeah, well, let me know. Um,
Okay, I will do that.
as you guys, like you walk back. Um, so you give Yonk the herbs, and she's like, yes, 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 yes. This is good. Um, so she, you know, you know, grabs the stuff from you, and she goes, morning, maybe afternoon. I don't know. It depends. Um, yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's good. Yonk, also have another question for you and possibly Fidget. Chithal and I were chatting about possibly enhancing our act and maybe doing something together. Um, but he seems rather uncomfortable with the idea of me holding things and then him slicing them with his star knife, and I guess that's understandable. Uh, but if if I was to throw something up very hot, he could shatter it. And I had suggested ice, but he says it's not very flashy. And he was wondering if there was something you could make that would be not so explosive, but if he shattered it, it would be a big burst of color, sort of like a firework or something that would really sort of capture
Ooh,
the audience's attention. And that
color
would
bomb.
possibly be, in a dim environment of the circus tent would really light it up.
Ooh, color bomb. So not
And
sparkly, but colory. Ooh, I can do that.
Sparkly,
I think.
sparkly and colory. I mean, you're obviously the alchemist here.
Well,
the
so is Fidget.
reintroduction of glitter bombs.
Um. So
uh,
yeah.
uh, but
So
but 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 one thing, maybe not sticky glittery, just in case.
no, no, I have an idea. Uh,
Oh, okay.
potions first, though, right?
Oh, absolutely, the potions first, please. And
Okay,
it's
tomorrow.
fun, but it's fun to have fun with things too. So this would be kind of a fun thing for you to do.
So
I hope.
yep. And then she goes. She looks over at Fidget, and like, they're just speaking like really, you know, fast at each other, and she just gives her she like Yonk gives Fidget some like you don't know what like she's like just spouting off formulaic stuff and like this light like shines in Fidget's eyes, and while Yonk is separating herbs and whatnot on one side of the workspace, like Fidget is on the other side of the workspace, like pulling out all sorts of weird colored shit. And writing down notes furiously and like pulling out books and stuff that are stored underneath and like looking stuff up. And they kind of like tune you out. Are you gonna stay there and watch, or are you just gonna go about your merry
Um,
business?
I will leave and I will go back, and if I see Jethal, I will tell him that I seem to have that the healing potions will be first, but I seem to have ignited a spark of interest in the alchemists to
Oh,
perhaps
excellent.
craft something that would work for the circus.
Well, I'm eager to see what they come up with. I know Fidget has these sparkle sticks or something that she juggles. Um, Hopefully, something less fiery and more colorful.
That was sort of what I asked for. I said something that would be colorful, and then if you shattered it, it would be sort of like fireworks. And if the circus tent is a bit dim, I think that might just be the thing.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. It would be about the time for you guys around when dinner would start being prepared. Um, Jethalago, well, I think I'm going to help with the preparation for dinner. Um, if you need me, please let me know.
Certainly.
And he, heads off to like he seems to know some of the kitchen people already pretty well, so they're just like they're like oh, and they're just like helping him take off like the armor and whatnot so he can work comfortably.
Gwyneth's secretly hoping for sushi again.
I will tell you, unless you ask for it, no.
Okay.
Just because they are not proficient in making sushi, and you don't want people who don't know how to make sushi making you sushi. It's like
You just end up with rice and fish, right?
that is a bad idea. um, so you've done that. Shima and Cantrell, are you guys heading straight back to the circus camp, or are you doing anything else
Yeah,
after
more
your
than
research?
likely.
Alrighty. And what about Shathra? Bless you.
Cather had a sneeze. Um, she'd probably be. She want to go on that hunt, actually? Hmm. You know what she's actually gonna do? Because she's very curious. Because since the wolves did say that there are people coming in and out of those ruins, I think her and Wolfie are gonna go stake out the entrance to those ruins. See who the
You're not
hell
gonna tell
coming
any
in
of
and out.
us about it.
If it's dire, I will. But she's just out of curiosity.
Alrighty. So are you gonna try and stay hidden, or like what's your plan of attack?
Yeah, she's gonna. Her and Wolfie are gonna try and stake out in a bush somewhere.
Okay. So let's see. Mm, boink. Alrighty. So that is. Yeah. Alrighty. So there's some. I mean, there's some dense foliage. Around 30, 40 feet away from the entrance to that area where you stepped down. Well, stepped up to because remember there's like a fashioned
Yeah.
staircase that leads up to a
Yep.
plateau.
Mm-hmm.
um, and you hide yourselves in the foliage. um, I need stealth checks for both you and Wolfie.
stealth. Wolfie got an 8, and I got a 18. Math.
Okay. Alrighty. So, so you guys are chilling there, um, and it's getting close to dinner time. So the sun is setting. Um, it's not yet dusk, but the sun is like midway, just like a little bit lower than midway in the sky. So the sky is starting to get that orangey tinge to it, and as you guys get to this area, um, you notice that it's very hastily, but some of the wood logging areas that you know that were used to connect the little remote islands um, were replaced by like actual makeshift like little single file bridges,
Mm.
and the foliage between here and where the wolf den is for the most part untouched. Um, and while you're waiting, um, you see like about a half dozen, guys. Um, no one in robes and pointy hats. Um, these guys look like construction workers. You know, medieval like construction workers. Um, leather jackets. There's one guy with like a clipboard of some kind. Um, it's it's a diptych, so it's like a medieval type of clipboard where basically it's just a board with like an inkwell attached to it. Um,
Mhm.
and they write notes, and um, if you as they cross the bridge to get close to the stairwell up, um, one of them like looks in the bushes and kind of stops for a second, and then the other guys are like, one guy looks like he's kind of a guard, and the guy with the diptych, just puts his hand, on the guy's shoulder, is like, oh, it's probably one of the wolves. We're not supposed to touch him. Um, I don't know why. Stupid wolves. Um, we need to get back up and see about rebuilding uh, the lighthouse. So
Ah.
just ignore it. Um, and like nods his head, and the other guys who are walking up kind of look like they may be masons. So it looks so they're like they have on their belts like chisels and shit, and there's one guy with like like a pickaxe and whatnot. Um, and how long are you going to hang around while they're doing whatever they're doing?
Do they look like they're city officials then? They don't look suspicious or.
They don't look like
Ah!
brigands.
They don't look like. Okay. Mm. Well, now I'm just curious about the people in the black robes. Uh, is there one? Are they going up the stairs?
All of them are, yeah. And well, all except one, the guard person, is staying like at the bottom to watch the stairwell.
I might pop my head out. But good evening.
And you startle him, and he unsheathes his sword.
And I'm with the circus, with the Wayward Wanderers. I'm not
And
here to,
he takes a look at you, and he like sees you in this like weird fancy outfit with a top hat, and
top that.
he goes, what? God, crazy circus folk. Uh, we're busy with city work. What do you need?
I was just curious. What are you all doing out here? I didn't think there's anybody else out here except for the circus people, which is, my people. Uh, what are you guys up to?
Well, not that it's of any of your concern, but uh, this used to be a lighthouse post. We're rebuilding the lighthouse.
Oh, that's what they were talking about. Okay. I was also informed by some friends about some people in black robes and pointy hats. Are they also with you?
You mean the initial survey team, and who told you about them?
Um, uh, our scouts circus that they keep an eye on the area.
Hmm. Give me a persuasion check.
I don't need them to think that I talk to wolves. God. What's persuasion? Society?
Yeah, society check.
16. Please,
Mm,
please.
he looked at you like, all right, you like go back to your circus. What's happening here is no concern of yours. It's city officials and city business. You guys did your job. You cleared the land. Now let me do mine. Get out of here.
Some manners next time, and she'll just take Wolfie and walk away.
All right. He doesn't do
To the
anything else.
circus.
Alrighty. So you guys are all around the table, for dinner. Or I'm presuming an exchange of information is gonna happen, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I exchanged the information I had at least gathered.
Well, so the wolves are okay.
Yes, and they're actually being protected by the city guard.
Well,
Oh,
they're
that's
not
a
being
surprise.
protected. They're not being protected by the city guard. There's
Well,
basic,
they're protected species.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's basically a signpost that says "Leave them alone."
Yeah. They have a signpost outside their den saying, "Leave them alone." And apparently, the leader of the pack was given the, I don't know if you want to call it a curse or a blessing, to speak common. So he could have, you guys could have talked to him as well, not just me.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. And they're also rebuilding those ruins where we found Fidget. Apparently, it's the lighthouse. So they're doing construction work back there. That's it for my information.
Cantrell, Shima.
Thinking, hold on.
How was your library trip? I bet it was boring.
Actually,
Informative.
we had a bit of a race beforehand, which was fun. Got a
Oh,
few
you
people probably interested in coming to the next show.
Tantra, we need to go drinking.
Oh dear lord.
I would definitely lose, but it'd be fun.
Oh, where's the fun in that? You could come drinking to me and my drinking buddies at the bar.
I could meet them, yeah, definitely, and thank them for their participation in running out those hooligans. Um, so we have a lead on the tower, and just so happens it's underneath the city.
We
You're
found that dread. Huh?
I was able. Oh, you kind of cut out at the beginning of that.
Oh, uh, it's not where that dragon is there?
No, it's
Ah,
actually
good.
further in where the woodworking district is. Um, belongs to a human god of knowledge and craft,
Or did
Erodin. Um, which is also where the Moonstone Hall is. It is the Moonstone Hall, basically, where the Ironstone rests. So we can either go in through that way, which apparently it was buried there, or actually, what did you find out exactly? You weren't able to go further in, or
And where? The lighthouse? The ruins?
yeah,
No, the guard wouldn't let me in. He was kind of a dick.
everyone's busy apparently. Hmm. Good to hear that the wolves are still alive.
Yep. The pack leader negotiated with the guards and told them about me. So I guess everything. Although he did say the reason why one went into the hospital was one of the wolves were startled and attacked without orders, and the pack leader told him to stand down and apologized to the guards about that.
It happens, and it's worth covering that fee. It's honestly whatever. Um,
So it was a misunderstanding.
yeah,
And they're okay. They have a little sign. They won't be relocated, but they did also agree with the guard uh, to hunt in other parts of the land. So they are traveling for food a little bit.
what would they? I guess rebuilding the lighthouse would be
I
important.
think they're hunting more further north, which I might go hunt with them at one point. They offered me and Wolfie to come with, and I haven't been true hunting in a very long while.
I
Not since
wish you
for
fortune
sure.
in that.
Well, Cantrell knows that usually ports that have a very far distance from water, um, and if there is a danger of running aground, they would have lighthouses. Um,
Right. And if this one's in need of repair, then I don't see why there would be too much of an issue.
needs of being rebuilt. Like what the structure that you guys found was rubble, pretty much.
Basically. Huh. Wonder what happened to that lighthouse beforehand.
No one told me anything. Like I said, the guard was a bit of a dick.
Hmm. Well, in either case, I suppose best way to advance would be to go through the woodworking district.
Maybe we can get the guard to the constable to give us a letter of letting us through.
That could work.
Maybe you should schedule a meeting. I'm sure she has some sort of assistant. She seemed like the type.
Hmm. Sure. I can schedule that for tomorrow. Oh, I'm sure after getting this done and down, I can set up a meeting for tomorrow. Run over there real quick and be back before curfew, I suppose. I'm sure there's a curfew around the city. Mm,
Or
in
maybe
either
most of them go
case,
to the bar.
I know that particular guards go to the bar where you hang out. All right, so
That's actually a true statement. There are off-duty guards you've noticed at the bar whenever you've gone there.
Awesome. All right. Uh, yeah, we're
Ish.
gonna.
Fireworks outside my house. Staring at them.
So are you gonna head over tonight, or are you gonna go in the
Uh,
morning?
I'm gonna go tonight to set up a meeting for tomorrow. That way, it's scheduled and not gonna be, a bother to them. They can actually plan for it, and it's not just a walk in. And it's not like we're gonna have like a 4 or 5 hour wait time.
So you
But
guys
we
have
go to the
breakfast.
bar
Are you going by yourself, or is Strother gonna tag along to try and
and,
to
and, and
more?
drag you to the bar.
I'm probably gonna get dragged to the bar.
All right. So you go to the constable's office first. Um, it is a city official building. You guys go. There are guards outside. You approach and they go, "Can we help you?"
Yes, we're wanting to set up a scheduled meet with the constable at a later time. I was
Well,
wondering if there's.
come back in the morning because her secretary is not here and it's past office hours.
Of
Could you
course it
leave a
is.
note?
We're guards, not secretaries.
Can we leave a note?
You can leave a note. I don't think anything's gonna happen.
Let's not. We'll just come back
Ah,
tomorrow morning when we're sober. And
yeah.
yeah, there we go. Cantrell's
Shouldn't I
not
give him
looking
a,
forward to
give him a
this.
whole pat on the back?
Hmm. Hmm. What did I
Well,
do in a past life to deserve this?
and when you say we'll come back when we're sober, the guards go, well, if you're not sober, be careful. Walk around the street. Drunken disorderly is a crime. There's a fine.
Oh, psh,
Understood.
that's fun.
Oh, ma'am, you can have all the fun you want, just as long as you're not a public nuisance.
I can hold my alcohol really well.
Hold my walking stick.
And then like when you say that, the other guard like slaps that guy on the shoulder, and he's like, and then he like looks over at the other guard, and he's like, stop lying.
Oh, what do you mean stop lying? Haven't you not heard about my tales at the bar?
Yeah, drunken tales from a bunch of drunkards.
Maybe you should come see it then in person
Ma'am, I'm on duty.
when you're off duty.
Well, that's not gonna happen until the morning. So
Oh, oh, that's not
With any luck, we'll still be there. Just keep going.
fun.
alrighty. So he dismisses you guys. You guys make your way to the bar. Um, so you go in, and immediately all the regulars are like, Chandra! And
No
just
shit.
People.
just like back pats and everything.
Arm
And then,
shakes, like really
yep.
firm arm shakes. Yeah.
So question: are you keeping your hat on, or are you taking it off?
Why would I take it off?
Okay. People just like they're looking at you like like they're trying to get you to relax. Like usually people in a bar don't wear their hats or keep their
Oh,
hood.
she's not keep her top hat on. She lets her top hat. She looks fancy.
And then some of the regulars like, is that like your new look or something?
Yep.
Like, all right.
Gives me special powers.
Right.
Well then.
And like before you even get a chance to order anything, like a big old tankard gets like slammed in front of you.
She just doesn't give him give him a thumbs up and a wink. Like
You know,
like a nod, yeah.
bartender's like, first one's in the house for you.
You
Like,
know the drill.
and it's just regular. It's like, oh, are you looking to beat your record?
Damn straight.
All right, let's get this piss water out of here. And then like a bunch of people at the bar who have like like that same type of drink are just like looking at like the drink and like the hell. And then the bartender like rings the bell behind the bar and he goes like, there's been a challenge, boys. Do we have any takers?
Where's Dird? Throwing around for Dird.
Oh,
Can't let you
Dirk.
do this alone.
Oh, Dirk's like he's about to like he's approaching and then he sees Cantrell like lift his hand and like Cantrell, before you like, you have no idea where it comes from, but you just feel this big womp on your back.
Oh.
And he goes, you're a brave man. It's like, I hope you got a strong liver.
Mind over matter.
All right, and then same as before, there's like this barrel behind the bar with like a skull and crossbone on it, and the bartender takes out like two glasses that actually look clean.
That looked clean.
And he just pulls the handle and like this like borderline tar hisses out of the tap, and it froths up and has like a super thick head, and he like pours two and he puts them down in front of you, and then he's like, all right, take your bets. And like there's people shouting blah blah blah, so like there's betting happening behind you guys. You're welcome to also partake in the betting if you choose to.
No. Because it just seems unfair to bet against myself all the time.
Let me see my inventory. Yeah, she'll put 15 gold in the pot.
On
Myself.
all right, so the odds are lower because obviously you're the favorite to win. So you won't get a very large return should you win. All right, so I'm gonna need Constitution checks, or sorry, Fortitude checks.
Fortitude checks. Okay. This I can do somewhat.
From the both of you.
Okay, Cantrell, slow the fuck down.
I'm starting off strong.
Same. 26.
31.
I'm
keeping up.
Alrighty. All right, like round one clear. And everyone's like, yeah.
Shothra, are you sure this thing is actually consumable?
It's delicious. What are you talking about?
It's like it's like a very heavy stout.
Yeah, and
like it is, and and again, it's like it's not rancid, but like the alcohol content is just not safe for normal human consumption. It's like it's definitely something dwarven make, because no person in their right mind would attempt to drink this and not be a dwarf or have some sort of ridiculous fortitude bonus. So he slams like two more flagons in front of you guys. Round two.
Oh,
and it's
boy.
like,
I'm still going strong. 28 for me.
Okay. A total of 28 with a nat 20.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
the fortitude is not that much. It's the base trained with it.
Okay. Cool.
Zero con.
And your previous roll was 31, right?
Mine was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine was 26, yeah.
No, that's fine. I just need to know. So you rolled a natural 20, and you had a total of
28.
28. All right. Cool. So for you, that's critical success.
Hmm.
So you don't feel like horrible from this round. If you choose to take another drink, you will have a +1 bonus to your fortitude check for the next round.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep going.
The bartender looks at you like, "You still good, buddy?"
Yeah.
And he's like, and you say, yeah. He's like, he slams 2 more flagons down, and he's like, "Round 3," and the crowd is like nuts. They're like, "Holy crap!" And like you hear one guy scream, "Are you sure he's human?"
I'm an elf.
Close enough.
All right. A little bit lower, but that's fine. 25.
24.
All right, you both pass.
Oh dear.
This is dangerous.
Yep.
Control's
All right.
gonna kick off later.
So you guys are now past the danger zone. So now you have a -1 to your fortitude check.
Okay.
All right.
Going.
All right. And he's like, Bartman's like, "Round 4." And everyone's like, "Yeah, do it, Shafra, you can do it."
Okay, so -1.
You know what? I'm going to. You know what? No, I'm gonna keep the roll.
Oh,
17.
17. Ooh.
17. I went a little bit low.
26.
26.
I'm struggling a
night.
little bit.
Rolled a pretty good.
Alrighty. You, sir, are fine. Ma'am, I need a will save.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm. That is a 23.
Alrighty. You do not pass out.
Am I still up? Am
You're
I just
still
feeling
up.
it? I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
She's done a little tipsy. Okay.
Yep. So because of the failure, you now have an additional -1. So right now you have
Okay.
a cumulative you have a -2 fortitude, and Cantrell still has a -1.
Okay.
Yes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're faltering? What?
Look, let's just keep going.
Let's go.
Round
Go!
5.
And like he slams another one down. He's like, "Round 5, new round of betting open." So before you roll, are you going to take a bet?
No, I'm good.
Cantrell just puts 1 gold down for himself.
All
right.
And he just goes, me.
Come on, man! Get a bigger bet. I bet 15 gold.
I get a bigger payout.
All right. All right. But he goes like, "Round 5."
Ooh, I'm coming back. Come back! That was a 28 for me.
Alrighty, that is a success.
A natural 20 for a total of 27 since the
What?
-1.
Oh,
The nat
okay.
20s!
Alrighty, so the nat 20. So for the next round, um, for the next round, you lose the -1 from the previous failure. You're still at the -1 for the normal round of drinks that you're in, Shothra.
We're at. Yeah.
Cantrell, you're at a flat, so it's a normal roll for you because you lose the -1 for the +1 for getting the crit.
Okay.
And then he looks at you and he goes like, it's like, you two still good?
Yeah.
One of his eyes just kind of goes. "Mm." Yes.
It's like, all right, slams down. He's like, round 6. Like people are coming in off the streets.
Ooh.
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 I'm still doing good.
I'm gonna need to use a hero point.
That is a
That's
29.
Alrighty, that is
try-
a success for you.
I need to avoid that natural 1.
Oh, I sure would. You'd be on the floor.
Okay, so a flat roll,
Yep,
21.
21. That is not enough, sir. I need a wisdom save.
Ooh. Well, these ones are better.
Cool.
We'll save of 24.
All right, you're still up.
Ooh.
We have the
Ooh.
highest fortune and will.
All right, so
Oh.
so you're still even, Shothra. Cantrell, the next round you're gonna have a -1
Mm.
added to whatever the next one is, and like Barton looks at you guys and he goes, "All right, are you guys still good?"
Yeah.
There's like a controlled breathing method going on right now. It's like,
Did it just go wham on your back?
let's go.
All right, and he just screams like, "They're still in it!" And I was like, "Yeah!" Like, like there's guards checking in to like make sure nothing crazy happening.
There's no bar fights.
All right, in this upcoming round, the cumulative negative is now -2. So
Okay,
this
so
is
-2.
this is on top of whatever minuses or pluses you already have. So Cantrell, you're gonna
Okay.
have a -3 on this round.
I'm now at -4.
Right.
No, you're -2.
Oh, okay.
So he goes, "This is round 7."
Okay.
23 for me.
All right, you're good.
With the -3, a total of 25.
Damn!
You're still good.
My God, weird. This is me and longer than me and Dirk weren't.
Yeah, like Durg is like he's like Durg is sniffing Cantrell and he's like, "Funny, I don't smell any orc in your blood."
Vietnamese. Vietnamese.
He's been hanging out with me. He's got a little bit of orc in his blood now.
This is the first time I drank since the last time.
All right. Like, 2 more flagons drop down in front of you. And he goes,
Oh, boy.
"This is round 8." And the crowd is like you start hearing people like, "Has anyone lived that long?"
I don't know, what is it being 17
Lived.
today?
Hey. All right.
Am I still using the penalty, Azrin?
-2.
28 again.
Alrighty.
My dice are
You're good.
17.
-3.
No, it's because you succeeded the last one, so you lose the other -1, so you're back to -2.
So a nat 20 for total of 26.
What is with you and the
Jeez,
nat
sir.
Don't
20s?
know. This is the die I'm using.
My God, you need to. What is with that?
Alrighty.
This is from HP Fox. So
Oh, it's one of HP Fox's
God.
die. No wonder.
Fox, what do you put in your dice? It's like
HB,
crack.
HB Fox and his spiked fucking dice.
I mean, I could be rolling the big guy.
Alrighty.
I need to get stuff from Fox then. Fuck.
All right, so this round coming up, Shothra, you still have a -2 because you didn't crit.
Okay.
Cantrell, you have a -1 because your crit negates one from
Okay.
the cumulative. All right.
All right.
And he goes, and he puts him down. You're like, this is you guys like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, people, it's round 9. Next round of betting. You can put more money on yourselves.
Just sloppily lands another coin next to himself, going.
All right, so you're up to 2. Shothra still at
I'm just
15.
gonna put. She's gonna puts out 10 gold on Cantrell.
Like everyone's freaking out. They're just like, ooh.
And
like-
cannot chail.
Yep.
And
Either
like,
way, she'll win.
and they're just like you start hearing people like, oh, is she gonna take a dive?
I believe in my friend.
People are like, they're confused. All right.
Oh, I'm using the hero point.
I'm not. 27 with a nat 20.
Oh, that's even. I'm taking a dive. That's in that one with an 11 or
All right.
14.
Okay. So because I need now because you rolled a 1, I need a will save, and you have a -1 to your will save.
Okay. I knew that was no time. That was a string of 17s and 18s.
Come on.
Woo! That's not even better. That is a 12.
Alrighty.
I'm on
So-
the floor.
So this is what happens. So you, Cantrell, you take that last swig, and you're just feeling pumped. You're feeling good, and you look over at Shothra, and you're just like, yeah, we got this. We're going for 10, and like this glazed look just falls over Shothra's eyes, and she just falls back off her stool and just thud, just hits the ground. Like
His jaw drops like,
and people are losing their mind. They're like, no, fix. And then there's a bunch of like people like running up to you, Cantrell. They're like, holy hell, dude, you made me a small fortune. And it's just like, so the odds against you, Cantrell, were 10-1.
so I got 20 gold.
And the odds against you, Shothra, were 2-1. So you lost 15 gold on yourself, but you made 100 on Cantrell.
What?
Nice.
Shit!
Like I said, either way, she wins.
I guess.
Yeah. And either way, we did anticipation for the circus.
And and people are just losing their minds. They're just like someone brings in a cleric, just like, no, check her out, make sure she's not faking it. And there's like a cleric, and like they're casting shit, and like there's another one with like smelling salts and medicinal herbs, and they're like, nope, she's passed the fuck out. And they're just like, everyone's just like, oh fuck, and then people's like, Cantrell, woo, just like, bro, you got, and then basically, so there's this like chalkboard, like the front of the above the barrel. It's like the bartender decides, and he takes out his bar towel and he erases Shothra's name, and he writes in Cantrell, and then he writes a 9 next to your name.
The Shimmer has to come by and pick you two up.
Maybe.
Oh, Oh man.
They are running a little late. If that's something Shima would do, like if she has legitimate
She would
concern.
most likely, if they not back after some time, she would probably go looking for
If you're
them.
not back at midnight, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
At this
We have
point,
a
like round
curfew.
9, like just after getting to the bar, we're fucked up.
But I'm already on the ground.
I think by the time Shima would get to us, like they would wake up Shothra at some point. But
Yeah.
Cantrell is dancing on one of the tables off in the corner
Yeah,
somewhere.
they give you smelling salts. You wake up, you do the who, what, where. People are amazed because you passed out and your hat did not fall off your head. They're like people were like, is your hat glued to your head? Because we couldn't take it off.
Special powers. Yeah. Special powers.
So Shimmer shows up and is like, "What the heck did I miss?"
Woo!
There's a shit, everyone around you just at once is just regaling you of this insane drinking challenge that just finished, and how the elf beat the orc in a test of fortitude. And again, you see, because it's written in big ass letters, there's this barrel in the center of the bar with a big ass skull and crossbones on it, and there's this placard above the bar that has Cantrell's name on it and a number 9 next to Cantrell's name.
You're gonna be regretting this in the morning. I tried to get control under control and check on Shathra.
Like,
I'm awake.
he's just dancing, and all of a sudden he sees Shima's like, Shima! And then just kind of falls forward onto the floor and just whoa. All right, we're good.
All right, so too funny. Alrighty, so Shathra, you are currently, until you get a full night's rest, you are clumsy 1.
That I can't walk by myself. Do I need a walking stick?
Clumsy
Cantrell.
is let's see, I'll post it in the thingy. So basically, so I'm posting it in Discord chat, not Discord chat, but in Behold Roleplay chat. So that is clumsy 1. So basically, it's clumsy. You just have the effects are at 1. So you have a -1. So everything that's listed there until you have a full night's rest, a long rest, pretty much.
I don't see it. Where'd you post it?
In the Twitch chat. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You maybe I'm clumsy.
Yep. So you're clumsy 1, and
Okay.
you're clumsy 1, and you're slowed 1 as well. So slowed is you have fewer actions.
Mm-hmm.
Again, until you have a full night's rest. I'm gonna post that. See. Alrighty. And the only reason why you're that is because people tended to you. You were going to either be unconscious or paralyzed, depending on what people did. So people tended to you, so you're those, but you need a full night rest to recover. Cantrell, you are also both clumsy 1 and slowed 1, but you will recover after a short rest, because of your last success was a critical. When you wake up in the morning, for your you'll have you'll have a +1 to your fort save for hangover, and sadly, Shrothra, you'll have a -1 for yours. So
For
in the
what?
for your hangover check in the morning.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it. -1. Okay.
And so while you're trying to get these two situated and home, and like some of the bar folk offer to help you.
Does Dirg
Yeah,
does
Dirk
Dirg
totally.
carry me home?
I don't. Does Dirk carry you home?
Does
Uh,
Dirg carry me home?
Give me a persuasion check. If like he'll definitely like give you a shoulder, but if you're like asking Dirk to carry you, um, give me a persuasion check with a -1.
Yeah, carry me bridal style, you know.
Cause cause you are GGW.
Oh yeah, she's drunk and she's gonna totally ask for it.
You're a green girl
Uh,
wasted.
the- uh that'd be 28. Oh
Alrighty,
wait, 27, 27.
27.
-1.
Let's see.
I have an 8 in society.
Yeah, he totally carries you.
Oh fuck yeah.
Like he picks you up, and like he's just like, I gotcha, and he just like sweeps you off your feet, you know. Like this has never happened to you before. Like like no person has ever picked you up bodily as an adult. You know?
And I'm sort of leading Cantrell back.
Yeah.
I am
So
not carrying you.
Guys, kind of like hanging on. It's like you totally missed out on the
so
ball
Shima, I
party.
need I need a perception check from you.
Perception.
Yep.
I'm a bad
And
influence.
before you
That's
tell
gonna
me,
be a 20. Okay.
well, do you have dark vision?
I have low light vision, I believe.
All right, so low light vision will give you a +1.
Okay. That's gonna be a 24 then.
Alrighty. Um, so you see someone lying face down in the alley next to the bar, like maybe about 30 feet down the alley, and you can hear them moaning. Like, and it's not like
I turn to Dirge, carrying Chathra, and ask him to hold on to Kentrell for a moment.
well, he all
Why?
right.
I'm fine. Just
He
lean on
just
this wall.
he just yeah. The wall you're leaning against is Dirge.
Hey, Dirge.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check this out for a second. Make sure this person doesn't need like medical attention or something like that.
She's
Okay.
shot at the bell. Shima. Be careful. You need to take Wolfie with you. She's just kind of like bobbing her head.
Yeah, if Wolfie's around with you, I guess.
Oh, you took Wolfie to the bar?
Oh yeah, she does with me everywhere.
All right. So then Wolfie would have been licking your face, trying to get you up and like whining, like
Yeah.
while you were knocked the fuck out.
She's Wolfie. Oh, did you go with her? And she'll just like motion towards Shima.
She begrudgingly agrees, but she keeps looking back at you.
I'm okay. She's just gonna cuddle up with Dirge and put in his arms like.
Alrighty. So on the ground, you can't see their face, but it's definitely someone who's not the person who's laying face down has a tail and long horns. You can tell they're battered, and they have a knife sticking out their back.
Eee. Okay. I check to see if they're alive.
Are you turning them over, or are you like feeling a pulse? What are you doing?
feeling a pulse.
It's give me a medicine check.
Okay. What do I have? Okay. And that is going to be 23.
Alrighty, that's good enough. You feel a pulse. It takes you a while to find it. It's really faint. Like this person is on death's door.
Okay. I tried to remove the knife gently and also cover the wound and wrap it up a little bit around their waist and whatnot.
With the 23, you know, unless you're going to immediately heal him with a magic or a potion, it's best to keep the knife in their back.
Okay.
The bag.
Ooh, yeah. I still have my bag of holding. I pulled out
They're
a
not.
health
They're not.
potion.
Oh, okay, I was gonna
The
say they're not.
raccoon
I was gonna
bags.
say they're not dead yet. You can't chuck a body in there unless it's not breathing.
I like where your head's at. No.
I used the whatever report of the day it is.
The
Pull
raccoon
a
pack to
health
pull a potion.
potion out and give it to the person to hopefully
Alrighty. So when you turn the person over, it's
mhm.
the tiefling that was with Delamar and the fiery redhead at the performance yesterday. And when you look at it, and you can still tell, even by the fact that he is beaten, like someone worked him over and left
Sure
him like
did. Oh.
I mean, from what you're seeing, it looks like basically he was pummeled, stabbed, and left for dead.
Uh, I still give him the
And
potion,
and now he's our friend.
possibly.
Maybe he's got some
Um,
good information on the circus.
So you give him the potion, and the knife pushes its way out of the wound as it closes. Like his swelling, starts to come down. It gives you, I think, a minor potion, right?
Yeah, it's a lesser potion, which is 2d4 plus or 2d8 plus 5.
Yeah.
um,
So roll it.
plus 5, that would be 18 points.
Oh, damn, you rolled really well.
Yeah, I rolled a 8 and then a 5.
Alrighty. Yeah. So he's safely away from death's door, but um, you can tell he still has some form of exhaustion from the sheer amount of a beating he took, and a lesser potion just is gonna heal his wounds, but not heal the strain
It's
to his
static.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he still has abnormal status effects, but he's not dying. And he just, he looks up at you and he recognizes your face and he goes, "Oh fuck," and he passes out.
Huh?
Oh boy. Another one I gotta tend to. Um, I lift him up and carry him over my shoulder.
Alrighty, you have enough strength, you can do that, and he's, I know what he looks like, so he's not particularly heavy, so you can easily do that without having to make a check. And he can't
All right,
resist because he's unconscious.
and I return to the other group and says, we're going to need to get home soon now. And I grab Cantrell, leading him back to the circus.
Hang on, hang on. I gotta stop it. And he starts to fumble through the incantation for uh the floating disc.
Are you actually going to try and cast a spell?
He's fumbling. Like,
Okay, so
why
if you're
is why
so
isn't working?
okay, because I was gonna say, like, so
Like
if you're making
he's
yourself
doing.
fail, I'm gonna say you have to make an I want an Arcana check with a -1.
All right, so Arcana check -1.
Yep.
Okay.
Like you should not be casting spells.
I should not be casting spells.
But again,
I
you don't
mean,
know. But again, you don't know any better.
I don't know any better. So
Can Shimmer try to stop him with her free hand?
You can slap his hands if you want to, as you see like this, as you see this like weird, like burbling amalgamation of arcane energy like coalescing in his hands.
No.
how?
Man.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I grab his arm and start pulling him along.
It wouldn't have worked anyway. It only works for like small items. He was gonna try and floating disc and land on it, and he would just gone right through it and face planted. But yeah.
Oh, we're amazing when we're drowned.
Um,
Yeah.
you guys, you guys make it out of the city without like too much, because there's a crowd. There's well, not a crowd of people. There's enough people helping the drunk slash unconscious people out of the city where the guards don't want to bother with the paperwork at how late it is at night to chuck you in the clink for being this
What?
drunk out in the city.
Oh, we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
That one guard told you drunk and disorderly is a crime in the city.
Mm,
It's like, you know. So I mean, so you
yeah,
guys
we get out of there.
so you guys make it out. You get to the camp. Gwennon, there's some drunk ass people and an unconscious tiefling who is very familiar to you.
And I'm being carried by Dirge.
Over Shima's shoulder. Shother is being carried by the big orc guy.
I
And
sort of point out where Shathra's carriage or whatever is, and point him towards it, so he
Yeah,
can put her to bed.
and Cantrell
Gwennon-
is just like
know-
Well, I'm
the-
just like one of my hands is still being held by Shima, and it's just like I.
yeah, you smell booze. Like
I used to go to some of the other circus folk to take care of Control.
yeah,
Gwennon has a look around and says, "What in the name of Desna were you all up to? And what is this?" And she looks, sort of points with a bit of disgust. "What is this tiefling doing here?"
I let him down and I said, apparently, I guess they didn't like the failure that they had on our circus act the other day, so I guess they decided to take it out on him.
Did he say that?
No, but I am guessing it.
Okay.
Because he had a knife stabbed in his back as well.
Ew. Okay.
she also tell you she also tells you he was beat to hell in a handbasket.
Okay. Can we find a place to put him? Maybe one of the empty animal cages or something where we can keep him locked up.
Put him with
no,
Bardock.
He does magic. There's
Don't
no
put him
way.
with Bardoff.
Nope.
Do not put
I
him
don't
with
think
Bardoff.
that's a good idea.
That will not end well.
No kidding.
Okay, I think we really need to. I don't know how you secure. Well, can we try to secure this tiefling somehow? I would like to know what they have to say before we let
Well,
them go.
if you want to try and prevent the tiefling from casting any sort of spells, you're gonna have to at least gag them and bind their hands. That way, they can't use any somatic or verbal components.
Okay, that's what I recommend then that we do for the tiefling.
And you do that, and some of the more burly circus folk, just like snap to it and just basically just yoink this guy off of Shima's shoulders and like gag him, hog tie him, and just just chuck him into like one of the empty cages. Actually, the cage they chuck him in is the one that Yonk rigged to be like a trap.
Well,
Nice.
that's perfect. Um,
So yeah, so it is basically just like shoink, slam it close, lock it, and then just like they're just like, all right. And then like they're like rock paper scissors rings to see who's gonna actually watch him.
all right. Well, how about those that need to have a rest, and then Jathal and I can see in the morning if anyone needs any sort of healing or anything. I
No,
don't.
Control is probably going to want a lot of coffee.
I don't think I have anything like, well, cure poison, but oh boy, I don't think I can.
I don't think I'm intoxicated to that point.
You do not look well, Cantrell.
I look like I outdrank an orc.
At least,
did.
at least one orc. Um,
Hmm.
did. Oh my goodness gracious! Next time I'm going with you all. This is ridiculous.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I
And you
had
got
my
our
own
appointment for
trepidation.
the morning that you went to town to get, I presume?
The guard said the secretary wasn't in, so we gotta go in the morning.
Okay.
It,
So you drank your way out of being disappointed, or what happened?
no, I felt like having a competition with Shathra because it's been a while since we hung out.
True, true.
Even
You
though I
orc! What were you thinking?
I was thinking
While this
nothing.
conversation's being had, Shothra is still in Dirge's arms.
Like
Oh, that
in
sounds
like
Like, well,
we
like
we
like 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 no one's told him where to put her, and she
like
yeah,
and
yeah,
she.
yeah, Shima
we said
did.
the carriage for Shathra. Shathra's own little personal.
Okay, do you point it out to him, or you
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but that was the first thing we did.
okay? So he just goes like, okay, and he like basically takes Shothra over to like her wagon, and sets her down, and he goes like, damn, it's like I lost a lot of money on you, but it was worth it.
Yeah, Dirge is just, whew. I don't know what got into Cantrell, but man, he impressed me even. Whew.
Bit of your search's family tree. There's an orc in there somewhere.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe I've rubbed off a little bit on him. It works like that. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I'm sure.
And he's like he gives you like an awkward pat on the shoulder, and he's just like see you around.
No, come on, stay.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh god.
You still have a -1.
Does she still have the glittering gold suit, like
Yeah.
dress on? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks pristine,
I look great.
but
I still top hat on.
I mean she's still sloppy ass drunk. That doesn't negate the two effects that are on her.
there.
That is gonna be an 18.
Alrighty, so let's see. This one he's gonna have to do an opposed because it's not a set DC. So let's see. All right, he does not beat an 18.
He's concerned about your well-being.
So yeah, if like you invite him into your wagon, and he goes like, I mean, I could stay a little bit until like you fall asleep.
That didn't be what's gonna happen.
Oh boy.
That wagon's gonna be a wrestling.
Do we need to fade to black on this particular scene?
I would say so,
Probably.
yeah.
Alrighty. So, no perception check needed, but anyone who goes in the vicinity of Shothra's wagon, the suspension is getting a workout.
Wolfie is is sleeping with Bardoff tonight. She'll send Wolfie off to bed. Wolfie, go to
Well,
Bardoff's
it's a
wagon
good thing we're
tonight.
going to the woodworker's place tomorrow.
Well, you wanted to see the constable first, right?
Yeah. Anyway, um, hmm.
Alrighty,
Remember,
so back to the others.
I'm just happy the bar didn't burn down.
Yeah, yeah, give us some credit, right?
I mean, hey, it happens.
We get. I got a joke for that, but I don't know if it's rated for this. Um. So yeah, Cantrell, after a little while of like actually just toning down and relaxing, will actually try to like sober up a bit. Not with magic though.
Tonight or in the morning?
Tonight.
Okay. Um, give me a. So if you want to try and sober up, give me a fortitude save with a -1
Yeah.
because you have not had a short rest.
Right. More fortitude -1. You said
Mm-hmm.
25.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
25.
Alrighty. So you're able to like slap yourself, up a little bit. Um, and like you basically wake yourself up. You're just like, so
Ugh.
your clumsy and slow are gone.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, you still feel like hot garbage. But you no longer have any adverse effects.
Well, I feel better. And just kind of lands back on his bed at some point. It's like, whoever was in charge of taking care of me, I was just like, it's fine. I'm good now. I need rest.
Alrighty. So you sleep. Gwennon, are you doing anything?
Um, no, I think they sort of took off to the bar sort of before we did all the sort of the dinner round of discussion. All I would have shared was that there was going to be healing potions available, and Yonk was potentially working on some bombs and some other things. And I'd check on her. I'd give her the day at least tomorrow, and I had nothing else. I was just a quiet evening probably. I thought. Obviously
Just
missed out on a good time, but
you got to
Oh
spend
yeah.
time with Jathal, right?
well, perhaps making
Mm.
making making notes that I shouldn't let them go to the bar by themselves. That you know somebody needs to be the growing up.
Well,
Hadn't thought it would be me.
Gemma was the grown up for the initial part, getting everybody home.
And actually, the only thing is, I'm a little concerned about the tiefling, but and I might chat a bit with Jathal about why I'm concerned. What would there be any kind of role I could do to see how much I actually know about that tiefling?
Give me a. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see. Give me a. I want to say society, but I want to see if
How about
Um,
circus? Would you
I
accept
I
circus?
was I was gonna say you can give me a circus lore.
Awesome.
I
Okay.
forgot you have circus lore, so yeah,
I have circus lore. Yes.
give me a
All
circus
right.
lore.
Woo! 28.
28. Alrighty. So you know that this guy is um, Aves, Aives,
Eh,
and
uh-huh.
his performance name is the Smoke Dragon. Um, bu- 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 you also know, um, because you've seen him perform, um, he basically, so he does like the whole like Gandalf thing where he basically blows magical smoke. So instead of making balloon animals, he makes um, smoke animals. Like he literally breathes smoke. Like he can like his breath weapon is a cloud of smoke. Um, and he can make those. He can make the smoke um, turn into shapes and things. Um, and basically, his act has a lot of audience participation as he will blow stuff at the audience and it'll poof when it hits them and stuff like that. So, um, let's see. Um, you know, let's see. You know that he is a rogue of some kind. Specifically, you don't know. Um, you haven't really seen him in combat, so you don't know what his specific combat abilities are. You pretty much know his act. You know that he is some type of rogue. You know that he basically does a lot of fixer type work, or potentially used to for Madame Dusklight. And as far as you know, he's should be in good graces.
Okay. So based on that, although Shima gave me a hypothesis of what she thought the situation was, um, that may or may not be the case based on what I know about him.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I will share all of, since everybody else is sort of too drunk anyway, except Shima. I will now. Is Shima around or not at this point, or no?
Shimon would be hanging around, more or less concerned as to how things are going to go with this tiefling.
Okay. So basically, I think what, again, Gwennon being Gwennon, I think probably what I would do is sort of make some tea or something for everyone that was still around and share with Jathal and Shima what I know about the tiefling.
Okay. So you can do that. Alrighty. So it is morning. So it is morning. So I need in the morning from Cantrell. Um, Now no modifier because of your success of sobering yourself up. Um, but I do need a fortitude save.
All right. Uh, total of a 20.
That is good enough, sir.
15.
15. So, um, despite having a long rest, um, you're no longer slowed. Um, you're no longer slowed, and you're no longer clumsy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but because you definitely were not able to get a um, relaxing night of rest,
I don't know what you're talking
uh,
about. I think that was pretty relaxing.
I'm just saying, until you have a night's rest without any untoward exertion, uh, you you are fatigued one.
Okay.
So basically, you're tired. You can't summon much energy. You have a -1 penalty. You have a -1 status penalty to your armor class and saving throws. You can't use exploration activities performed while traveling. Um, and again, you can recover from a full night of actual rest. So basically,
Look at it this way, Shatra. Maybe in 9 months you could actually show Wolfie what it means to give.
yeah.
Oh
So
God, no! I sent her. No, she sent her. No, no, she's that night. She sent Whoopi to Bartle, so I didn't.
No,
so
9 months from now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. She's totally get pregnant.
who's all up in the morning?
I
Can't
would,
go.
Gwenna would be for sure.
Alrighty.
I'm
So
glad tonight Shimmer might take a little bit of a rest in.
alrighty. So Shima's resting in. So Gwenin, Cantrell, you can give me and Drathal, but it's not gonna matter. But you can give me a perception check with -1. I'm sorry, with a +1.
With a plus
Who's
one.
gonna see Dirge's walk of shame?
Pretty much.
Surprisingly, very perceptive this morning. A total of a 20.
Oh boy, I'm just looking for perception here. Okay, that would be a 32. So I'm going to
Jeebus.
say,
You're
Damn.
not getting anywhere without me seeing you.
Jeebus.
so I'm
So
going to look at Giselle and say, it looks like we have company for breakfast.
so so Cantrell sees Dirge, walking towards, the campfire, trying to find his way back to the city. Unfortunately, Gwenin sees, Shathra in a various form of undress as, she slaps Dirge's ass as he leaves her wagon.
She sure would do that, actually.
Joe's just gonna like, you want some morning pork? Salted.
He like actually let's see what's he gonna do. Let's see.
Gwenna would probably look at him and say, would you like to join us for breakfast?
Uh, he's like you got coffee?
Got something similar to that. Hold on. And he's like stirring this pot, and it looks like turpentine, but it is coffee. It's like you got a pot of coffee, you got grill, and it's just like natural
Yeah.
breakfast.
Now we actually though seem to have like a crew that makes meals because Giselle went to help them. So I'm wondering if there's sort of more of like a bigger group that would have breakfast at the circus.
Well, it will be like it's finishing up. but I mean, you guys can do your own thing. But there's usually like a continental style breakfast in the morning for the camp, where it's basically just a giant tray of scrambled eggs and a tray of fried eggs and sausages and various fried meats and bread
Hmm.
and all sorts of stuff. And for the people who aren't the avid meat eaters, there's like that green stuff and some fruit.
Want some of that green stuff?
So I would, I'll have a look to see if there's anything left, and
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
I'll offer that to Dirk, and go see if I can find extra large uh, mugs of coffee.
Okay, he thanks you.
And
Yeah,
if I can, I'll put them down in front of Cantrell. And
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know that
good.
Dirk was
No.
drinking. I'll put both of them down in front of
well,
Cantrell.
Derg
well,
was
well,
drinking
well,
before we got
well.
there.
Derg was drinking, but Derg wasn't drinking.
He wasn't
We
like
we had
drunk.
a competition between myself and Shrothra,
Right.
um, and I apparently overtook the uh, the prestigious position of 9 rounds of some very stout.
Oh,
So
please tell me we got anticipation for that.
I'll put both of the mugs in front of Cantrell and go get another one to put where I think Shothra would be sitting.
Actually, yes. That was um, another 10 anticipation.
So we got 20.
Got 20 so
And
far
then
in one day.
I'll ask Cantrell if he wants some of the special coffee that he's made as well.
You mean Dirge? Yes, he will.
Well, no, Cantrell was stirring coffee. He was making.
I'm pretty sure he's
Yeah.
gonna drink his own coffee.
I mean, more coffee is good, but like I've already got a good set right here. I'll share it with Dirge.
And when Shothra comes out, to your surprise, I guess, I don't know. Maybe you're surprised. Maybe you're not surprised. Dirge is there at the campfire, having breakfast with your companions. You know,
She's just gonna sit right next to him and be like, "Morning."
uh, coffee.
Oh, please, thank you.
And yeah, it's like like he's definitely flustered. He doesn't because he's not amongst orcs, so he's not sure how to deal with this situation. He's just like, this is weird. And he's just like eating, like he's just doing his best to keep his mouth full, so he doesn't have to actually say anything. Plans for the day?
Be the constable, and then check out the woodworking sites, the district. Right.
Cantrell, are you feeling well enough to do this, or would you like us to come along?
Once I've had my coffee, I think we'll be fine. Yeah.
Once you have like some strong coffee, you're okay.
He has the cup that says, "Until the line is down here, don't speak to me." No, not really. But yeah, he's filling a stein filled with coffee, and he's slowly but surely getting food in, and eventually he just looks fine.
All right. Is anyone going to talk to or interrogate, potentially murder the tiefling prior to heading into the city?
I would love to talk to that tiefling. And
Probably be right
just
behind
all
you,
with
too.
me.
Yeah, I'll be behind you, Wolfie.
Okay.
Alrighty.
A little
I
bit
think
behind, like
around this
behind,
point,
behind
Shimmer
you,
would
but
be
yeah.
getting up and looking for food.
Alrighty. While you're grabbing a plate, like you see everyone like, I don't know if I'm presuming Cantrell is following suit. Like everyone's doing like the slow stoic march towards the wagon where the tiefling was chucked into last night.
Morning, Shimmer.
And morning. You feeling better?
Absolutely.
And
I've had
and
2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, and walking amongst the group is Dirge.
Oh, I
And,
didn't know
and
you'd come with us. Okay.
well, he doesn't really know what to do. He's just kind of like, you know.
Uh, Dirge,
Well, having him around might be a good idea just in case.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have him. I'd love for him to stay around.
How about you, Shatra? You okay?
I'm a little bit tired, but other than that, I'm doing great.
it's
Alrighty.
kind of yeah.
So you
Yeah,
guys, you,
so
you guys
Shimmer's
get,
gonna grab her food and follow along.
so you guys get to the
She'll eat
cage,
it.
um, and like the tiefling is in the cage. He's awake. He's mumbling something. Uh, his hands are tied. He's like looking, you know, like he sees you guys coming, and like when you guys approach the circus person who was watching him, just like, you know, just gives you guys a nod and is like, still here, and he goes off to like go have some food and whatnot. And he's
All
like,
right.
all yours.
Okay, so I am going to um,
Wait, I recognize this guy.
ask. Anybody have mage hand? Do you have mage hand, Kendra?
Yes,
Okay,
and
I am going to, without opening the cage, I'm going to ask Cantrell to use mage hand to remove the gag.
simple enough.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta pull it so that way it comes undone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'll just have like it come down to his chin so that he can just spit out the wad.
Yeah,
But the hand's still there in case it needs to go back in.
and he's like, and he just goes, if you're gonna kill me, kill me. It's like, I've already been through enough torture for one day.
So, Avies,
If we had intentions of doing that, we would have been done already.
I don't know that. People who are into torture like to keep people around for a while. I mean, you know, you might want to keep me as a chew toy. I don't know.
So, Avies, do you want to tell us your side of the story of what happened?
He's like, you're not gonna believe me, whatever I say, but that bastard and bitch sold me out. Said the whole thing was my fault.
Which one? Madame Dusklight or Luana?
It's like
Or Ruana?
Rana sold like it was Rana and Delamar. They sold me out. They said it was my fault that we failed. And like he looks at you and he's like, you know how the mistress is about failure.
So, who beat you up then?
The usuals. Although I'm surprised to still be alive.
You have me to thank for that.
I want to do a what is the check for that? To see if I think he's telling the truth. Deception check.
No,
No.
that's
Be
if
it
that's
insight.
if you're lying.
Insight.
Yep.
But I'm not seeing insight here.
That'd basically
It'd be society.
yeah.
Society check. Okay, we'll do a society check. 13.
I mean, you don't know for sure, but it doesn't sound like he's lying. But I mean, you know his history. I mean, he's proficient at, deceiving people. So you don't know for 100% sure that he's telling the truth, but you also don't know 100% for sure if he's lying to you.
What do you think, Cantrell? Do you believe him?
Kind of looks down at him, wants to ask him a question first, like one curiosity out of me first. Is that macabre clown still with that group? The one with the fancy toy.
Hold on a second here, because now
Oh,
you make me look up.
Jellico.
Gonna make me look up his name.
Isn't it
I think-
Jellico Bounce Bounce?
I think it is. Hold on a second.
Then I thought we killed him.
He
Uh,
ran off.
Oh,
He
no,
ran
did
off.
Run off. Yeah.
We don't know if the rock got him or not.
he ran off.
Well, the rock went in a different direction than when he did.
Knows.
Where's yes, it was. He's like, you talking about Jellico? Like, yeah. Pissed you stole his toy.
Would have
He
been better
left
if
it
the Rock
behind.
got him. Yeah, he ran off without his toy. All right, fair enough. Now, explain to me what you would do if we let you go.
Get out of here, that's for sure. I'm not safe in this town anymore. And he looks at, he's looking at Gwen and he's like, you know what'll happen if I get caught here? I don't have anyone protecting me like you do.
What if you did?
I'm broke and borderline destitute. And I'm pretty sure the next time I get caught in a dark alley, I'm not going to make it out alive.
Well, then I would suggest stay
Speaking
in
with
the light alleys with us.
He's offering you a job, man. With us. You get
Like,
protection.
I am the one to talk to if that was the case.
why?
Why? Because something somewhere decided that we would find you and keep you alive.
I mean, I could have just left you there.
Yeah. I
Well,
didn't even recognize you last night. I thought you were just some bum.
Probably
But
still
I
plastic.
think,
Shima checked
Hades,
on you.
that the point here is that we're better than Mistress Dusklight.
but are you more dangerous?
Well,
Sure
that
can
would be
be.
for you to find out, wouldn't it?
Well, she's not done trying to get rid of you. And I don't mean running you out of Escadar either.
Oh, we fully expect to run into her multiple times as a circus.
I have a good friend of mine who would like to rip her entrails out.
And when you say that, like Wolfie is like wagging her tail, and like everyone else just hears like this little blood wolf yapping, but you hear it's like, yeah, rip out her entrails and eat them.
And eat them. I have 2 friends actually that would like to do that.
So in all of this exchange, what is Jathal doing? Is he A, in his armor or not, and B, is he kind of sort of like doing the Shadow Gwenin thing?
Well, it's breakfast time, so he doesn't normally put his armor on first thing in the morning because he was going to eat
But doesn't he
breakfast.
have like the Iron Man armor that's just poof?
Yeah, but I mean, there's no need for him to poof his armor on. He's just like, I mean, this guy is tied up. He's not a obvious threat, but I mean, his hand is on his star knife, so, and he is, behind you.
Taking his charge seriously.
I mean, if this guy was dumb enough to make the lunging attack or something towards you, you're pretty sure like he'd try to lop his head off.
So,
Okay.
care to be poor and destitute like the rest of us?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That's a society check, right?
Society, yeah.
21.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Does not beat a 21. He's like, well, just so you know, the first sign of trouble, I'm out of here.
Fair enough. I
Honestly?
guess.
Honestly, I don't blame you. He'll pull out a hand as he takes off the other part of the binding and then physically lifts the door. Come on, Aves.
And with trepidation, he exits the wagon. Um, he dusts himself off, and he's just like, and then like almost like he's talking to himself. He's like, this is another fine mess you've gotten me into, and he just he's just there, and he's like, he just heads back towards the main campfire and cops a squat, and the other circus folk are like hesitant, but they're going to trust your judgment until he does something that warrants them taking him out behind the tent and him not coming
Yeah.
back.
Old Yeller. Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Oh, just so you know, I have a range of about 200 feet. So, and just kind of sits down across from him, drinks more coffee.
And Gwennon, just to kind of, again, being Gwennon, she's going to actually go and get him a plate of breakfast and a cup of coffee and bring it and set it down in front of him.
He'll grab it. He knows you're one of the more nicer people who've ever worked for the circus, so he doesn't seem to have any distrust, or doesn't seem to have any suspicion that you're going to try and poison him, because you're just wouldn't like in he's like, of all the people here who are the least likely to poison me, it'd be you. Like in his mind. So he thanks you, and he grabs the coffee and he takes a big swig, and he just hungrily starts eating at the food.
Perhaps to a new start, Aves.
Oh, we'll see about that. No promises, but being here is better than being a whipping boy again.
Shimmer will also make herself comfortable and eat her breakfast.
She'll also Chath will mention, by the way, don't go near Bardolph's wagon. He might he's not very fond of people from the Cat Lady Circus. So,
Wait,
let me talk to him.
Bear is still alive?
Of course he's still alive.
And in good health.
And he's doing fantastic after you all traumatized him.
I didn't have any part of that one.
Well, he doesn't know that, so let me talk to him before you go anywhere near his wagon, or else he might eat your entrails.
I don't plan on doing that. Just let me know when he's about, and I'll make sure I'm on the other side of the circus grounds.
He has free reign out of his wagon, so...
Still, okay. Like he's very nervously eating his food now.
So I will have a chat with Bardolph, don't you worry. I have a way with animals.
He just nods his head. He's just like you can see the calculations in his brain. Like, did I make a good deal or am I fucked?
Look, you just don't go near Bardolph, and you won't let Bardolph see you, and he won't eat your entrails.
At this point, Chantrell's just like sighs. All right, I think that's enough of the entrail talk, please. I'm trying to enjoy my food.
And you would think Wolfie is yapping in agreement with you, but Wolfie is actually, as Shother's talking about entrails, Wolfie's also talking about, yeah, let's eat his entrails. And she looks up at you and is like, can we eat his entrails?
No,
not today.
Wolfie. Not today, at least.
And then Shothra's yapping at Wolfie, and you're not sure what the hell they're talking about.
Way with animals.
Yeah, he's just like looking at you, and he's just
Like
like,
I'm nuts.
he's just very confused with the outfit and all the crazy. You know, he's just like again, he's just very taken aback at all the things that are happening right now, and I think he's just trying to figure out if he's, you know, safer here or safer, you know, potentially in Absalom or somewhere far, far north from here. You know,
I
but
mean, I could call the Pathfinder Society and have you escorted.
mm,
Slashes the page.
he goes, no, that's okay. I'm not in the good graces of at least two of those factions.
I'll stick around here, and you might be at least good with me.
Right. Right.
Yes,
We're gonna call it there.
Hmm.
You guys have to decide what you're gonna do next session, which is in actually I don't know if we're having a next session because technically the next session for us would be Christmas Eve, and that's more than likely not gonna happen. So
Yeah, I won't
uh,
be at my computer.
yeah, so we won't be back until the 7th. So basically, we'll be back in the new year. So early Merry Christmas to everyone. Um, so yeah, so definitely is going to be the 7th because we're definitely not doing the 24th. That's not going to happen. But this is not the only show that we do here on this channel. We have alternating Saturday shows. We have this one, We're Wanderers, which is our Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse campaign. The alternating Saturday is our Withered Waste campaign, which is DM'd by Erogen, and he is taking the crew through a post-magic apocalyptic clusterfuck of a hellscape. Um, they do weird shit. I, I stop asking questions whenever they get to make choices on things. I'm just waiting patiently for them to get to one of their milestone points because I want to see what they do because I know the hellstorm that is awaiting them should they choose to do something dumb. So that's gonna be amazing. Um, we also have this Monday coming up, which is alternating Monday, but we're potentially finishing off our Darkness and Darvasta campaign that Kiara Phoenix is running on Monday, where a bunch of scrappy agents are have been dropped off in the war-torn country of Darvasta. Nation, country, I'm not sure which. Nation, we'll say nation. Nation has better clout. Um, and they're in the process of basically trying to stop some sort of sisterhood of hags, not hags. We don't know they're hags. I know they're hags because their description is like those are hags. so so as a GM, I know those are hags. As a player, I don't know what the hell they are. They're creepy old ladies that need to die. Um, and then the alternating Monday for that is our Mass Effect campaign, which is ran by Zoro for Me 3, where she takes the Mimsy Six through. They have
Space
a space.
shenanigans.
Yeah, they have a spaceship that looks like a gun, and they're about to put arms on it. So that alone should just let you know the crazy that's happening in that campaign.
Wasn't that
pretty
the theme of
sweet,
Outlaw
though.
Star?
Yes,
That's what I thought.
that is exactly the theme of Outlaw Star, which Rojan made
Sweet.
which Rojan made reference to when Kiara Phoenix mentioned putting grappling arms on the ship. so so
I gotta
yes.
watch that episode now.
Yes, it is nuts. I don't it's Any other nation or fleet needs to be terribly, terribly afraid of this group of crazies and the shenanigans that they're doing. On Tuesdays, we have our um, Destiny Forge campaign. The last Tuesday of the month, we alternate that campaign and do our um, mini campaign of Into the Wildlands Season 2. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen this month because that's on the 27th. So maybe, I don't know, it depends. There's going to be a lot of IRL shenanigans the last 2 weeks of the month. So we're pretty much going to be playing things by ear, but keep a lookout on our um, Twitch channel, keep a look on our Twitter, keep a look on our Discord. We'll post any information regarding our upcoming schedule or schedule changes or whether or not we're going to be around or doing family stuff or have other obligations outside of our adventuring. Um, but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for hanging around with us and uh, do it, doing shenanigans. I wasn't sure what everyone was going to do today, if they were just going to jump into the killing or if they were going to, actually do some downtime stuff and,
Sure did.
try and do some other stuff. So, um, yeah, they did some other stuff and other orcs. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No regrets.
no regrets.
No regrets.
But that's it. So we see you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Don't take any wood nickels. And we are out of here.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Ugh.
That was fun.